Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome to Title and Troubles. I'm Paul. I'm joined by, in the background, Kenny, giving it stacks in the bath, but also by Josh,
Hello.
by Ben,
Hello.
by, I'm going to leave you to the last, Martin. Okay. This is episode 9, I think we're up to, of Titles and Troubles, which is our high-level game set in the county of Circazar in the kingdom of Tethia in the Forgotten Realms. We have the Count of Circazar in the form of Diego Darkblade. We have his marshal in the form of Ox. Show me the money! And we have the Hawk of Alamander in the form of Darian, leader of the Order of Gauntlet in the castle of Ilkazar. Strictly speaking, the Castellan, actually, not the leader. The Vindicator's the leader. And they were at a village which I've decided to name Terrasodia, which is on the edge of the Forest of Mir. They've been tracking down some brigands that had tried to turn the population of the south end of the county into undead ravenous ghouls. It's the kind of thing that you do as autumn draws in, and you're an evil vampiric traitor to the Order of Gauntlet with a grudge to hold against Darian in particular, and are backed by a powerful lich in the service of another powerful lich, and also, if nothing much is on TV. So you got to kind of do those things, haven't you? And we left the heroes in the village discussing tactics as the enemy emerged from the forest to the south west. The enemy is made up of a number of humans, brigands and such like, a number of ghouls, and more terrifying than anything else, I guess, 3 10-foot tall monstrosities of flesh sewn together that stamp and through, led by a priest of Bane. Tefanaka and one of the rangers in the service of the county have been providing some updates as the last few weeks as they've been coming through the forest, and this is where they're going to emerge, possibly to enact their will on the village. At least that's their plan. We have a map that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to sort this out for the stream, but I'll do something.
Paul, you could download the one you posted to us and then just pull it up on the screen.
Yeah, that's quite likely what I'm going to do, and then just add tokens as things go. But you'll see that what we're going to be talking about, it might sound a little bit like chess, where I'll be like, yes, Dragonborn 2 squared, D5, and stuff like that, because I've just put a reference grid over it, because it's going to be easier for us to understand what is happening. Okay, so that's the plan. That's a setup. Let's just say then that it's the moments before the enemy forces emerge from the forest, and you guys were just finalising the details of your plan. So I'll let you crack on with that.
I would have discussed it with Marsh on Colleen before suggesting it to the rest of the group. Would a hammer and anvil tactic be good? Lure them in, the Dragonborn engage, and then the cavalry sweep in at the back to cut up their escape.
As long as the cavalry can get in with the topography of the ground, there's no obstacles in the way.
He points at the olive grove, which is on the slight rise in front of the village. That would make a cavalry charge more difficult. One of the reasons for cavalry charge is to disrupt their own infantry, to break their ranks, as much as it is to kill and to fight. So it may well be that we wish to disrupt them as they come towards the village rather than wait until after. But it is your command. And he says Darian and
It's just in cavalry as a vanguard.
We don't want them to escape as well, so the cavalry needs to get in
surely-
behind them, cut them off.
Exactly. What if they choose to retreat then, and the Dragonborn can't then engage at all?
then we can dispatch the cavalry if they move back.
to
I
mow
guess
them
it's
down.
there are pros and there are cons to either approach. He says.
Well, why not have the Dragonborn used as, the ambush should they attempt to hightail and.
But Dragonborn, we're waiting kind of in the kind of area of the village because we're not the most mobile. So when they get here, we want to be the wall to prevent it. We want to emerge, create shield walls, be the front thing the front that they hit first.
Okay, so the Dragonborn are going to be kind of what, like G3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
G2, 3, 4?
'Catch,
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Use the cover of the village and catch them.
Yeah.
There's
down.
50 of you, by the way, isn't there? So, right, 50
Yeah.
Dragonborn. So that's quite a lot of Dragonborn in quite a small village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I don't think I'll get a charge in there. Would you want to be on the edge of what was it? Kind of, where you can see how there's a circle of houses. Do you want to be closer to the front with those two houses on like the left-hand side of G3?
What, have them as like the front?
So don't think of the houses as being actual houses. They're representative of the cluster of the village.
Hmm.
Otherwise,
well, like,
they're
closer
about
to-
100, 50 feet long. And they most assuredly aren't.
So
Yeah.
closer to the edge of the village then. So when you move out, they'll presumably either engage you or stop, and then I can
Yeah,
just sideswipe them by wheeling around the village.
Yeah, that sounds a good idea.
So what's the intention with the order of the Gauntlet Cavalry, of which there are 25 of you?
I think after the Dragonborn move out, and I guess like communication will be limited at that point. So after we kind of get the go-ahead that the Dragonborn are emerging, we'll come out from the side of the village, go round it, and go sideswipe either the side or the back end of the forces pushing forward.
Okay. So to the north or to the south?
How rough's the terrain in either side? Like how suitable for cavalry charge or flat?
The north would be. It depends. Do you want to go towards the beck or away from the beck?
What's a beck?
A small
Small
stream.
river.
Yeah, small stream. Small river.
Oh yeah, how close is that in proximity? Is the village actually touching that, or is it a little bit away?
No, it's a little bit away. It's about 50, 60 feet away.
Only 60 feet away. I suppose I'd want to come from the north then, wouldn't I?
I don't know.
The north side, because I don't want to. Like it'll be wetter and rougher down by the river. You'd assume.
Yep. Okay. And how far back are you going to hang? Because that's a force of 80. That's quite hard to hide, particularly that number of horses.
I thought I only had 25 men.
You got 25 plus 50 is 75.
Yeah.
So you're trying to cram like 75 warriors into a village of around about 50 or 60 people anyway.
How thick is the olive grove?
It's reasonably sparsely wooded. It's not kind of like you're having to kind of squeeze between trees or anything like that. It's up a slight rise, and it would make getting cavalry charging in there quite hard. You could walk a horse through it, ride a horse through it. You'd have to be ducking, and because olives aren't particularly tall, but it would disperse a charge.
I'm just wondering if we should have half a Dragonborn in the E2, like in the top of the olive grove, ready.
They would be seen. That there's not sufficient cover.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the olive grove is where those crops are, right?
No, the crops are top right.
Oh, where's the olive grove?
So where it says olive growth,
E2.
it says E2 through to E4.
Ah, right.
Right in the middle.
So as you look out towards the forest, you have a kind of about 150 feet, and then the ground rises up slightly. It's a very gradual rise. It's not going to stop anybody from kind of like charging up it, but it does allow the olive grove a slight commanding position, kind of looking down on the village. Then there's this patch of olive trees, which is not dense particularly, but is definitely there. And then you kind of move back about another 2,500 feet, which is largely open ground, kind of like brokenish ground more than anything else. Then there's a steeper rise, and it hits the edge of the forest, and it's like a meadowed forest. It's not. Don't think Mirkwood in Lord of the Rings where you've got a wall of trees. This is kind of, you could quite happily ride through that in small groups.
Just so I get an idea for scale, if we were all standing in one spot, how many squares would we take up?
You would take probably one of the big squares if you're all in ranks. So from the centre of the village to the edge of the forest is about half a mile, and it takes most people about 7.5 minutes to walk half a mile. So walking at 4 miles an hour, you do 15-minute miles. So you've got about half a mile to the edge of the forest. So it's about 150 feet out to the olive grove, and then 2,500 feet out. So the map's not to scale, by the way. The middle of the map is condensed.
Yeah.
So if the men were to be standing in a line, they each take up 5
like sand people.
They each take I'm just trying to get an idea for scale. They each take up 5 foot. So there would be.
You've got 75. So you've got 5 7 to 300. 350.
The cavalry.
You'd get 30 men in a line, so that's the kind of scale we're dealing with for one square.
But if you wanted to kind of hide the cavalry a bit, because it is a slight slope, and if you were sitting behind the village and you were going to come and wheel round, obviously you move quite quick.
Yeah,
so you could stay. You could stay a bit of a distance away from the village, like I don't know. It'd be equivalent of what it goes to I, J or K on the map. Slightly further away. So you could actually be like, if you're behind the village, all the buildings and everything else in front of you, and when you want to emerge, you could wheel around the whole village.
So the horses move at 60. They've got a speed of 60, so that's 120 feet every 6 seconds. So you could be a distance behind, and then kind of as soon as you heard some combat or whatever trigger you wanted to do, you could start to move.
Yeah, that would be 2 or 3 turns before I'd engage, is that right? Or depending on where it was. If I was at the back of the village, it'd be more likely...
Yeah, but you would never be getting in the first round anyway.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the intention, because it's just run.
I'll hide my troops then behind the back... the north end of the back of the village. Like, where the G and H line cuts the 2 and 3 line, round about that area.
Most important, where do you want us to be if we're going to engage these bigger things? Where should we hide?
Ideally, I think the murder zone would be 3F or F3.
I'm looking at that now. F3.
Yeah, it's the gap between the olive grove and the houses.
Yeah, you're about right, yeah.
Ideally, that's the murder zone, and your guys would be holding G3 and just stopping them at the edge of the village.
Yep.
That's the ideal. That probably wouldn't happen.
So when their forces advance upon the village, we all emerge. 2 lines, blast the hell out of them with dragon breaths originally, then create shield wall and block them, and just a line of shields with axes, a line of shields above behind that with spears, cavalry to wheel around. Hopefully that creates a bit of panic in their ranks. They start running. Cavalry then can hook them down, and then we wade in and hack down the big guys.
Yeah, that's the ideal, although I would worry about those big guys knocking through your ranks, and especially the Bay Knight casting spells is the biggest concern, because we don't have any...
I can probably deal with at least some of the golems if someone can keep an eye out on the priest.
Do we go for the priest first or for the golem first?
No one can keep an eye out on the priest is the only thing, and they'll probably be in the center casting spells from the back.
Yeah. He might get melted by acid breath if we're lucky. That's fine.
I don't think he's going to be in the first 60
immediately. He's a villain. He's got to wade up and tell us his entire plan afterwards.
No.
He's a minor.
Yeah.
He's a
I don't think
minor
he does.
villain. It's not even an odd job.
He's a minor villain. So the real villain has to come and tell us the entire plan and sacrifice his minor sidekick for the cause.
Okay, I'll take that into advisement.
So, I suppose you should keep an eye on them and see if they start wheeling round to F4 or F2, and then
Yeah.
adjust accordingly based on that, Ox.
Yep. Are we ready then?
I think so. I'm just worried about this priest. We've got no way to really deal with them.
I think we have to. There's a certain element of winging it. I think.
So are you guys going to be together?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
who?
Well, I'm going to be separate, obviously, because of my position.
Oh, yeah, you're with your mounts. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be with Diego.
Do I get a lance as well?
Yeah.
I'm with Diego
I-
because as much as
I could
I'm still there to
Sorry.
protect Diego, so I still need to be by his side. I'm his marshal.
Yeah.
I could have
My
sworn there was
first.
charge rules.
I might have
but
a job
couldn't
if
find
Diego
it.
dies.
If you get the mounted combatant feat, then you get advantage if you're on the mount. You get to choose an attack that hits your mount rather than you. Blah blah blah. Other than that, you get your mount has the same initiative as you have, and it can take the dash, disengage, and what other shit action?
Died.
Yeah. I brushed up on that, but I was just like, I was so sure there was a charge bonus damage, but no, that's monstrous. That's monsters in the.
I thought there was some like.
There is a charge bonus down, so that's a charge your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
well.
fifth edition has a bit of a gap compared to some of the other editions because it used to be that you used to be able to do like double, triple, quadruple damage with a lance if you were charging on a mount, blah blah blah. But the fifth edition basically says it's just you got a speed. Cheers, enjoy that.
You got reach, yeah.
You take the mounted combatant, I think it's called that, feat to get other advantages.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because this is Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Welcome to the dungeon.
Are you going to shout that like in Sparta? This is Dungeons and Dragons and kick them.
Well, I did put
Everyone
a
on the
well.
battlefield's like, what are you on about?
I did put a well in the centre of the village in case anybody wanted to do the whole "This is Sparta."
Yeah. Yeah, there's a well.
In parallel, the One Ring game that I'm playing in is having a similar kind of like bandits attacking the town. And we were talking about getting their emissary in and kicking them down a well. Okay. So the creatures are starting to come, starting to emerge. The first kind of group to emerge is the set of around about 50 brigands, and they kind of like start to filter through the trees, coming through B3 into C3 and B5 into C5, and they're in two groups. One of those groups has the one, and the most southerly of those has the golem as one of the golems, kind of as part of their vanguard. You can't really see where you are because the slight rise obscures it, but you see them coming down the rise at the other end and starting to move across and coming out, and you're kind of looking across a half mile out there.
Our men all in formation.
Your men are essentially hidden, I think.
We're sort of
Yeah.
hidden at the moment.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
it's
We're
good as-
trained well to into formation quickly, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just thinking like a battle speech would at this point be.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing one as well.
Well, a lot of the runs along the front with on the
Theoden.
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a
probably,
red day.
right,
Death. That kind of thing.
yeah.
Let's see. I'll make you the Cleric of Bane, and you can be the other golem, and you can be the other golem. And as they kind of like steadily and purposefully move forward, the ghouls, and you hear across the wind of the kind of like ghouls, and it seems that the horses must have caught wind of that, and they kind of like stir and shudder a little bit, and there's a bit of as they kind of come out, and the ghouls you can't quite see very clearly, but there is one of the golems next to the kind of pack of ghouls, and then one of the other golems is just steadily trudging along behind the most northerly pack of brigands. You think that the cleric of Bane, you catch kind of sight of the sun reflecting off his plate mail helm in the pack of ghouls, and they kind of start to kind of move steadily closer. So they're kind of now, after around about 5 minutes of quite torturous waiting. You know, you're doing the whole wait for the whites of the eyes, and the tension is starting to rise, even in the trained Dragonborn for whom this is not their first gig by any measure. The militia of the people, we need to ring the bell. We'll have seen them. They'll think something's up if we don't ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell. That's a good idea.
So they race to the Shrine of Shanti and start to clang a lang a lang. The most northerly group is starting to reach the olive grove, and then the ghouls, the Bayanite cleric and the other golem are starting to move towards the olive grove as well.
Mm-hmm.
The brigands span out and kind of take positions within the olive grove, and then the most southerly group wait just on the other side of the beck in square E5, and then if nobody's done anything, the kind of cleric of Bane and his ghouls and his golem kind of start to cluster into square E3, and at that point the brigands and their golem move from E3 and start to move down the small slope. They're fanning out into 3 ranks, so there's about 15 in each rank, but it's a very informal arrangement. It's not at all like your organised thing, and they don't look to be expecting you yet, but then they pause rather weirdly, and then you see and hear the most southerly group of brigands and golem kind of start to cross the beck. Can you make Ox? Can you make me a generic stealth check to reflect how well your people are hiding?
It's a natural one.
Almost. It's a 2 + 1, 3.
Okay. 3. One of the brigands catches and points and shouts, "Enemy engaged!" Now, bear in mind that they kind of knew that you guys had kind of caught. Have we lost Martin? Martin, you there?
Oh no!
Ready?
I wanted to start print screening some of the
assassins got round the
the
village and took him out.
Can you not hear me?
No, we couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Can't hear you now.
Froze.
Did you hear us?
Yeah, I heard everything.
All right, your
Keep
video is
freezing.
very fractious. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, this is a bit freaky, isn't it? Because Martin, your video is just stuck, and then it's unstuck. Okay, I'm going to carry on until somebody tells me otherwise. They then break into a bit of a quick run, and you hear a hold kind of comes back from the olive grove. The ghouls are held in a really tight pack in the centre of the olive grove, and you then see a mouse cursor moving. No. You see a large spectral guardian is now seated right in the centre of just on the edge of E3 square, so where the line between E and F meets.
A spectral guardian.
A spectral guardian, a large plate-wearing kind of. We have lost mine.
I did say when you were off a minute ago, Paul, I said, what do we do when the ring wraiths show up? Is this where the ring wraith shows up?
The Nazgul.
Yeah. You ain't got video now.
Are you there, Martin? But he's Scottish internet.
Yeah, it looks that way. Dum 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 dum.
Oh, I rolled so poorly for that stealth check.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, you're trying to hide 50 people in a village.
I know, and I imagine the Dragonborn are like.
Well, they're all like 6
Will you
and
tell
7
a dog
feet
to
tall.
sit and stick a treat over there and walk away, and they're just itching to go for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine they're probably like really itching for a fight now.
Oh yeah.
They haven't had a fight in a little while, have they?
Yeah, I've forgotten how combat works.
I don't know that I ever knew.
Yeah, it was mine. I assume not.
You all look back and the Order of the Gauntlet just seem to be like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the Order of Gauntlet betrayed us and just left.
Yeah, the Order of Gauntlet are kind of like, guys, time to charge, and they're just like...
Yeah. They're that bunch of soldiers you never could trust who just stand on the hill and watch you get massacred and then turn away and leave at the end. You're like, mate. I don't think it's working.
Okay, we'll just give it a few minutes or however long it takes. So apologies for this, but Martin lives like in the middle of literally nowhere. It's like north of Inverness. That's how middle of nowhere it is. And Inverness is north of anywhere sensible. Ah, here we are. Martin, welcome back.
You know, it's literally just Discord because I can load everything on the internet just fine when I drop.
Okay. So what were we doing when you left us?
The group were crossing the back and they saw Ox.
There's a big
Well,
spiritual,
sort of Dragonborn.
a guardian or something.
So what has then happened is a large spectral guardian has appeared over the olive grove, right in the edge of the line between E and F and the middle of square 3, row 3. And it's large in the about 12-foot tall sense, and it's hovering just over the ground, kind of dominating the front of the olive grove. It's indistinct in its features, except it's clearly a figure wearing plate armour, and it has a gleaming sword and a shield emblazoned with a fist of Bane.
Shit.
Son of a bitch.
Okay. And then the kind of Brigands and the Golem kind of move forward. They're about 75 feet away from you, and the similar thing with the ones to the south.
75 feet.
Yeah. And then they charge.
And now we are wheel out.
Okay, so the south group is kind of charging, and the north group are charging at the same time. So they're going to be coming. Basically, the south group is coming across the diagonal. That is where F and G meet, and the line between 4 and 5 meet. But yeah, they're spread around that bottom corner. The others are coming straight through what you described as being the murder hole.
So which one are you going to block, Josh?
Well,
and there's about
15, were there? You said
so there's
3.
So there's about 25 brigands in each group, and and they're not like they're just charging. Like think Braveheart. Rah! Nothing structured about this. The golems are lumbering behind, but they're able to kind of keep up with them, but they are lumbering behind a little bit.
So the Dragonborn would split into 2 groups, 25 to take go on each, create 2 shield walls, and then I assume I'll say to Diego, we take one of the golems.
Okay.
Mm.
So you quickly relay the command through your structure. Resmi is with you as well. Remember, so is she going to take control of one of the groups, and your brother take control of the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Resimir takes control of the north, and your brother takes control of the south. And the Dragonborn quickly kind of move across into their structure. They advance in front of the village, the kind of boundary of the houses, and they steel themselves to meet the charge.
Mm-hmm.
They have to spread more thinly than they would like. It's not quite as compact. Otherwise, just like the Maginot Line, lots of people would go around them.
And they all blast them with fire breath when they get close enough.
Are they all
Just
red?
a line.
Red weapons.
It's a combination of blacks and green Dragonborn, mostly, with the occasional other.
Okay, so that's
Poison
acid.
and acid.
Acid and
Yeah.
poison, mostly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's just have some initiative rolls for the Dragon. Well, let's just do a corporate initiative for the Dragonborn.
Do I get a plus? Or just a roll?
Let's say so. The Dragonborn, let's give them plus 1 to it, because I imagine there'll be an average dex of like 12.
16 for one group. Do you want both groups rolling separately?
Yeah, go for it.
16 for the south group and 15 for the north group.
Okay. So you are south and you are north. Oh well, your trained warriors are well ready for the the brigands arriving. You hear the clash as they kind of bang against the shields, and then as the breath expires out. So that is that. Okay, cool. So that is engaged. The golems, you see, aren't particularly perturbed by. Was it poison and acid?
Acid, yeah.
Okay, but they were behind. Yeah. Okay, aren't particularly perturbed by it all. And you're going to go for one of the golems, are you?
Are you activating your fiery laser sword first?
Yep. Bow aiming, flaming out.
North or south golem?
Diego, north or south golem?
On it.
North. We've got north golem. No, actually, we'll go to south golem because the cavalry will wheel round the north.
Okay.
With that.
So you guys, I guess, you come out and you kind of edge around where the brigands are attacking your Dragonborn, and the Dragonborn aren't able to adopt as disciplined an approach as they would like. But they're definitely holding their own. Definitely more than holding their own in that first kind of encounter. And you kind of move around, and the golem is starting now to come and step forward and to engage with some of the Dragonborn itself. It stands much taller than they are. Even your tall Dragonborn are coming to the kind of like the chest of them. Okay.
Golems.
Sorry?
How big are these golems?
They're about 12 foot.
12 foot.
God, it's taller than me.
Yeah.
They're twice as tall as you, Diego.
Yeah. So we're running up one bit.
I don't know. Try and see how it goes. What's the Order of Gauntlet doing? You've heard the engaged.
That was the trigger. So with that, I motion Gregor and the rest of the mounted cavalry to be moving. I'm assuming that's going to take us, what would you say, 3 or 4 turns to get wheel round?
I think it is going to be, so if that's 150, so that's it's going to be three rounds before you kind of come around. Gregor says don't want to.
Dangling carrot in front of his nose.
Too bad. It's Torm's justice. Let's go.
Don't wanna.
Stop.
Tom smells. I have it on great authority. Tom smells. He's eager. He's eager to prove himself as the celestial horse because he's heard that if he does well, he might get a promotion. He might get a proper rider.
Oh.
I thought you were going to turn into a Pegasus, but okay.
No, the problem with Pegasus is if you get caught, you get turned into a nightmare, and that's just it's just not pleasant. And the Pegasi are friends of Arvandor, the Seldarine, not Torm.
So when we get up to speed, I shout to my men, "Steel yourselves, men! Battle has been met!" There's
the guy at the back who's called Battle is like they're roused. Not aroused, which would be a different thing entirely. Okay, Diego and Ox, you kind of see the golem do the whole Sauron in at the start of the Fellowship of the Ring and just smash kind of one of the Dragonborn.
I imagine that was me through the Brigands doing that as well.
Let's have some initiative rolls for you guys.
Come on.
Okay, that was my shit.
I am consistent. 15.
Yeah, so did I. 15.
If you only roll 15 throughout most of this, I think you'll be okay, except maybe hitting armored opponents.
Yeah. Yeah, but 15 plus 9.
Okay, Diego.
Oh, right. Okay, that's not
So,
right.
15.
in fact, yeah. So this is the second round of the combat. Okay. Diego, what are you doing top of the round?
My way towards the golem, powering and basically pirouetting my way through, making a beeline with Ox to the nearest golem.
Yep. Okay. So you're within kind of 30 foot of the golem. You see it. It's not paying any attention to you at all. It's smashing. It's just got big clubbed arms and it's banging. It's picked up one of the Dragonborn. And it's just smashing it. It's using it to bang, another one.
Yeah.
You can see.
I use my bonus action and get another 30 feet to it.
Yep. Okay. So you are with it.
Yep, and I will make my attack.
Okay. You're coming up to its waist.
Mm-hmm.
You hope that nobody's sewn a huge dong golem size. You can't see that there is one, but you do see it's very, very similar in construction to the remnants that you found in the other village.
Yeah. Cool, and I will plunge my rapier upwards.
Okay, you plunge your rapier upwards. So let's have an attack roll.
Ooh.
Does he get his sneaky attack though? Cause...
Yeah, I should.
I think you've got allies within 5 feet of it. I mean, it's got one in its hand to start with.
All right, okay.
That's 19.
Hits.
Yes.
Sneaky attack.
Get more with dice now.
I imagine our sneak attack at level 12 is pretty good by now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's. I think it's the same amount of die. I think it's 6 d6s.
Nice.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That is pretty good. I mean, that's comparable to my highest level smite, really.
Yeah. Unless this actually goes up at 12, but I don't think it does because step bumps are, Right, if I'm wrong, then I'll rectify that sometime later. But, right, here we go.
I shout at Diego, kill everything before Darian gets here. That'll piss him right off.
7, 10, 15, 16, 21, 24.
So in this episode of Titles and Troubles, we do a lot of maths. So if you need any arithmetic problems,
30 points of magical piercing damage.
30 points of magical piercing
30.
damage.
Nice.
30. Okay, you take a real chunk, and a proper chunk, like it falls off. You manage to clearly get some of the threads that were kind of sewing this bit of the golem to the next bit of the golem, and it can and you reveal kind of the other part of its leg, just the other side. It looks like it's got a rudimentary skeleton, but it's the flesh is attached to it by being sewn in rather than tendons and muscles and what.
Well, in which case, I think I'm going to go for the arms next.
Yeah, okay.
Literally unarming. But that's the end of my turn.
Okay, Ox, you've seen Valiant, the Count of Serkazar, race forward in the defence of one of his villagers and take a fucking great chunk off the leg of one of the golems. The golem is like screaming in agony and drops the Dragonborn onto one of the Brigands.
How far away am I from
30
engaging? I'm just going to charge straight in with my flaming axe and just straight into its. Well, I suppose I'm a bit taller, so I could get him like in its
You
lower
could probably
rib
get
cage.
it, yeah, and it's just above the waist.
So much.
Ooh, that's 26.
Hits.
That's 25 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll whip the axe around and attack it in its lower leg now with my second attack. I am really very consistent. That's 25.
Hits.
It's good to hear.
12. 21 damage.
Okay.
And my third attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that missed. 18.
Hits.
Another 21 damage.
It goes crashing to the ground.
And I roar.
You roar. You're the Dragonborn kind of fighting around you, kind of roar in unison. Rah! Ox, 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 ox. One of them shouting, Oxo, Oxo. He gets a kick from his friend. And the fighting continues. The fighting continues
And I
around
say
you.
to Diego, 1-0 to me.
As you say that, you feel an a vice-like grip grab your leg. What's your armor class?
22.
And you are dragged and picked up by the golem, and it smashes you into the ground.
Oh. What, the one I just dropped?
Yep.
Oh.
I think you need to break that crystal, guys.
It does 20 points of damage to you.
What a bitch.
It's not insubstantial.
And then it kind of lifts itself up again. You can see electricity, the sparks just dissipate away, and like where you sliced it in the stomach, it's just kind of started to fuse up again. And it's on that many hit points. The Dragonborn go, Ox, I thought, what were we cheering for again?
I'm working on it!
Okay, so we move into round 3. So, Darren, you're starting to wheel around the edge of the village.
Did I not get round 2?
Sorry? Oh, so this is round 3 of the combat, which is round 2 of their fight.
Sorry, like I wanted to do something in the second step of us wheeling around the village.
Right, so this is the start of this round.
Right, but I'm not going to be engaging this turn.
No. So
Okay,
you're so I'm just advancing everybody around basically. So you're wheeling round the village. You've got another round of movement before you would be engaging. You can see that life isn't so great for the top cohort of Dragonborn. The golem is really putting some damage into them. You also see that the ghouls are still back in the olive grove. The third golem is towering amongst the trees there, and the priest and the third golem walk forward so that they're just below the rise, and he looks across to your people coming down, and then he looks down and kind of takes a brief look around and starts to cast.
Well, I'm more than 120 feet away because that's how much I've got to move at the moment.
Yeah. You guys are relatively safe. A column of black fire comes down from the heavens and smashes straight into the Dragonborn in the north, right down, centered immediately on the center of their wall. Can you give me a dex save for them, please, Ox?
Do I get a modifier?
So let's say that they're going to get +2 to that. No, they're +4 to it because I should say they were getting a plus.
16 then.
16, and that would be DC. That's going to be failed.
By the way, during this turn, I want to cast a spell as well.
Yeah, okay.
Counter spell would be good.
No, I don't get that.
Those Dragonborn that were encapsulated in that, which is a 10-foot radius. So that's about. In fact, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 of them in the center of the square because you were talking about 2 ranks and so on. All but the red Dragonborn, who's kind of like slightly dazed. They're just destroyed. They're kind of obliterated by the fire. Resmia races forward and just fills a hole herself, just swinging a great axe, and she kind of like is now starting to engage the golem as well. A number of the Dragonborn are starting to kind of just be pushed back by the sheer weight, and they're now fighting up against one of the buildings. The priest and the golem kind of step back into the olive grove. Okay, Darian, what's your action? You're right around. You see that kind of unfold. The more southerly look all right. In fact, the golem doesn't look. You can't see him.
Right. Well, I think the plan is just to go as we planned, and just keep attacking attacking the northerly group at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Darren's going to keep riding forward with his knights in tow, and he's going to shout, "For Torm!" For let me see if I can get this right. Yeah, "For Torm, for the Order, and for Faerun!" And then kind of like a golden vestige of a lion envelops his head, and he's
Oh my god, he's been eaten by a lion!
and he casted Crusader's Mantle.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
Cool.
It basically just adds a
Yeah,
D4 radiant damage to everyone within 30 feet of me.
Yeah. Okay, cool, great. Gregor's like, "There's a fucking lion!" Starts bucking. It doesn't. Right, okay, and then you kind of start to do. Your men start to fan out a little bit so that they're kind of forming a wedge with you at the point of it, and because there's not a massive target to kind of be hitting really. So that's radiant damage.
I hear the Bonanza theme in my head.
Yeah. Where the Dragonborn are hitting on the golem, they're doing no damage to it.
Okay.
Kind of like hacking at its flesh, but it's just not penetrating. Diego, this thing is it's still prone. You get advantage on attacks, and it's just grabbed Ox by the leg and just lifted him kind of up, and then really whacked him into the ground.
Has this thing got those black diamond eyes?
Make me a perception roll.
To look it up.
16.
It's got those eyes, the deep black eyes, like a shark, actually, now that I think about it. Those lifeless eyes. It doesn't have the gems, but then, the gems were.
Like sink right in.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and sink my blade into its head.
Okay.
I'm going to try and find one of these things out.
You have advantage.
Cool. I'm going to need it. Oh, that was even worse. 16.
Hits.
1, 2, 3, 6. So much dice. Oh, that was good. That's a lot of 4s and 6s. 8. 11. 17. 19. 24. 30 again.
Nice.
Magical piercing damage.
Yeah, you slice your radiator. Your rapier. I don't know where that came from. You slice your rapier straight into the creature's head.
Through the other side.
Yeah, it's gone into the dirt below.
Good.
It's gone lifeless.
Can I use my
again.
bonus action try and pry one of his eyes out?
Yeah, you have your you fight your wielding, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get your dagger and you kind of stick it into the socket and start to try to kind of grab that out. I'll let that happen just cause. It'll be next round when you get it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Ox, its hand's gone limp. That was kind of really crushing your leg. What are you doing?
So is this? We assume this is dead. It's gone completely limp now.
Yes, it has gone limp, as if it had crossed over the threshold into death.
Okay, and if we look up at the battlefield now, we can see how far away is the next golem.
So the next golem is about 250 feet, and you can see past it. So you can see that your guys are not doing well at that top end.
Yeah.
The brigands are really starting to get on top of them now, aided by the golem. Rezmir is in the thick of it. Genuinely in the thick of it. She's just been smashed and kind of pinned into the ground by one of the fists of the golem, but she's just picking herself up and she's kind of defending off with this massive greatsword that she has. But you see the dirt of the Order of Gauntlet rising below, and you can see the glints of the lancers as they kind of start to make straight
to go join his men.
They as they straighten up to hit what you hope is more brigand than dragonborn. But it's going to have to be a particularly surgical strike because that is close.
Yeah, I'll hold Darian
hand-to-hand
personally
combat.
responsible.
Go and join your men.
When Ox says he's going to hold you personally responsible, what he actually means is there's a bill coming your way.
Surely he'll get more in his pocket for every Dragonborn that doesn't need paid.
That's not how it works.
I think it. Did you not get paid a flat rate? Amateur move.
Also, Diego, the next golem, and I'll start charging towards that golem.
Go to your men.
Yeah, but the cavalry are about to join there. The reinforcements at the north are the cavalry. They're about to arrive.
Why do you swing around behind them then? Why do you go back into the village? Are your men almost finished up with the brigands? I imagine that would have been a.
So the
fairly
south
quick
ones
fight.
are doing quite well, and we've taken down that one golem. So there's another golem in the north ones, and then there's a third golem as well.
That's right.
How well are the south ones doing? Are they nearly cleaned up?
No, they've still got fighting to go, but they're winning.
I trust them to do their job.
They're winning. Some of the brigands are clearly leaders and quite capable fighters in their own right.
Okay, so instead of running, why don't you just whip out your carpet now?
Then go where?
I mean, if you want to get to
Wherever
that
you
goal,
need to.
that's further away than your movement speed.
Yeah, but I imagine it'll take
carpet.
a round to get my carpet out,
least,
get on it,
yeah.
and then move. And I could have moved, however, use
Your
my
carpet
action
moves
and
at
my move.
60, I
It
think.
moves at 60 though, so
Yeah, which is equivalent of a double move.
yeah, exactly. So like in 2 turns, you'd make it up. You'd be exactly where you were if you didn't take out the carpet, and then anything after that is your
Right,
faster.
okay, Ox, what are you doing?
I'm just going to charge it on foot. I don't think the carpet would occur to him.
You're charging on foot. Okay. So Diego, you stabbed your stuff. You're trying to prize out one of its eyes. Make me a perception check, Diego. In fact, no, you need to make a perception check. You prize out one of its fucking eyes. You hear and then the whole thing shudders, arches its back like that as if it's having a bit of a fit, and then it looks like some of the flesh is just hardened and knitted together again. It's still lifeless though.
Break that core, man. Mine, they had crystal cores when we saw
He's in the center.
Darian has no ability to say on account of being several hundred yards away on a fucking horse. Okay, so I am advancing the round. Darian, roll me an initiative, please.
Any pluses?
Whatever your normal pluses are for initiative.
Oh, my one. Then it's just, oh shit. It's 3.
Okay. It looks like the horse is just going at Praxin speed. At Praxin speed. And I'll roll initiative for those guys. In fact, I already had. What was it again, yours?
They're going to be faster than 3, surely. They must have like +3. They're dexterous fighters, I assume.
No, not especially. Okay, so what is this is a hand-to-hand. This isn't any more clearly delineated us and them. There are kind of pockets across, the space. There's a golem in the center of things fighting Resmir, and Resmir and the golem are adjacent to each other. And you've got 25 mounted cavalry coming down at quite a pace. What are you trying to hit? There's really no way that you're gonna get into this combat without possibly some collateral damage on your fellow Dragonborn.
What's happening?
Martin's thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking. There's not really a back row per se. There's a mostly back row of bad guys, but some Dragonborn kind of thing.
It's, if you imagine a pitched fight of hooligans in the streets of any European capital where England are playing, it's very much like that.
I guess I'm gonna do my best to try. It's not gonna be like the full brunt of the charge now, I guess, but I'll try and clip the melee, if you get what I'm meaning.
Yeah. You're gonna kind of hit the greater density of Brigands' side.
Yeah, and the full cavalry charge isn't really gonna get not 100% of the cavalry charge is gonna get a look in probably because of the way I'm doing things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way it's gonna be done now.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can lance the golem from here, is there?
No. The golem is really close, deep into the thick of the Dragonborn.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just try and do that thing I said.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You start to come down. Make me an attack roll.
Sorry, attack roll.
Yeah.
My one or collectively?
Roll a d20 for you, and then tell me what the natural dice roll is.
Okay. I don't want to use advantage on this, do I? Oh no, I've said it. I've said it now. Oh, not bad. Natural 16, which gives me a natural 20. Well, no, a modified 24.
Okay, cool. Could you make me a handle? Is handle animals an actual
It is,
thing?
and I'm proficient.
Okay, make me a animal handling check. Yeah.
Can I add any of my stuff to this?
This is for you.
Oh, this is for me. Okay. Yeah. I might lucky it. That's all I'm gonna say. No, that's not bad. I'm keeping it. That's 13 plus 4 for a 17.
Okay, great. So the animal handling is because your plan was to hit the rank, and now you're having to change plan, and you're moving at 60 feet every 6 seconds, 10 foot a second. So that's 600 feet every minute or something. So you're moving at a fair clip, and then you've decided, shit, I'm gonna have to change that, and you're gonna have to try and communicate at the same time. So this is about your ability to change the charge so that everybody else follows you, and you maintain a set of momentum. So you do that quite successfully. Gregor clearly is understanding your intent and helping you out. I'm not quite sure how he got to become a familiar of any kind of description, because I'd normally wheedle that out at interview. But there we go. And you successfully managed to you spear, one of the brigands quite successfully. His body kind of falls into Gregor. Gregor takes great delight in smashing his hooves into it, and you hear similar sounds from behind you. Without a doubt, some Dragonborn will have taken probably a hit from the side of a horse rather than from a lance.
They can take it.
And
That's okay.
And the riders will try, where possible, to cause the mounts to jump. But it's a melee, and it's hard, and the adrenaline's going, and telling friend from foe is not quite as straightforward, because they're still processing the change of the charge, and you kind of burst through, and it's really, really weird that you kind of have this intense moment of noise and action and fighting and massive concentration, and the whole kind of world slows down as you kind of feel yourself go, and you feel the movement of Gregor, and then you're at the other side. And it's like,
yeah,
it's like, whoa, like you start blinking as this kind of thing happens.
There's the adrenaline going.
You see Ox racing up with his magic carpet bounding in his back. And you're like, hold on a minute. You get your measuring tool out. You're like, well, come on.
I'm like, fuck's sake, Ox, we left you with the magic carpet for exactly this reason.
I've done some calculations, and you'd have had a 2-turn return on investment on that.
And we gave you it for a reason. We're like, you're the least maneuverable. Use it.
They're not losing it on the battlefield.
And you see for the first time the spectral shape hovering over the olive grove, and you recognise it exactly for what it is, which is a guardian of faith, representative of Bane.
They can move, or is it stationary?
It's stationary.
That's what I thought.
But it lasts for 8 hours without concentration.
I know.
It's just ridiculous.
It is a guardian.
Yeah. And you see the other golem, and you think that this might just be your adrenaline, and you're fueling it, but you think you catch the eyes of the priest of Bane, and you think that they glow red. And then you're out, and you're racing down, and the beck is really coming, and it looks a little bit more than you thought it was, actually, but it's still a distance away.
Good.
What's your intention next?
Right. Is the village, are the buildings far enough apart for, say, us to wheel round and clip the other group? Well, actually, the line's holding better on this side, isn't it? Would it be feasible to clip the other side of Brigands?
You can try, yeah.
And then is the village? So say we get past down. You see this most southerly village on the map, for reference. After we wheel around there, is it possible to go back through the village and charge straight out?
Yeah. It's going to be 2 to 3 rounds to get down to that southern group.
Sorry, you cut out there.
It's 2 to 3 rounds to get down to the southern group.
Ah, right. And there's an ox in the way, isn't there?
Ox is just leaving that southern group.
Right.
I mean, it's not like he's occupying very much space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout, get your flying carpet out, son. On the way down.
You have no idea what Darian said to you. You assume he said, "Loving the flying carpet, son."
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 turns. The brigands aren't, or sorry, the top brigands aren't doing so well. There's more than. Is there like a space in between? Like slow down my troops, re-enter the village, and come back out of it.
You can try, yeah.
Right.
You're not then in an open plain, and you're forcing horses to charge through buildings. You're going to funnel your troops, so it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, I don't expect a charge coming straight. In fact, even with especially with the allied troops there and enemy troops there, I don't expect a charge per se.
Okay, so what, you're swinging tight, wheeling tight to try to get through the village.
So I'll raise my shield arm up, and to gesture everyone to slow down and lean it towards the direction of my intent.
Okay. Okay, cool. So that'll happen next turn. Diego, you're prying this eye out, and you kind of pop it out, and it is indeed kind of a glass eye, not one of the onyx gems, but contained within it there is an onyx. That's a very small onyx gem.
Can I get the one out the other eye?
Okay, you lean across and you start digging at that as well. Yeah. It's going to take a round.
Fine.
Okay. Ox, you double move. Okay, so you have got another couple of rounds to kind of get to the north rank. Means that goes to that. Diego, as you are prying at the eye, you feel it convulse again, and then you feel the dice not.
Yeah.
What's your AC?
18.
Oh, that hits.
Is he gonna uncanny dodge?
Smashes you on the back of your head.
It clips me in the back of the head as I uncannily dodge.
What does uncanny dodge allow you to do?
Take half damage.
Okay, what, from an attack?
Yeah.
That is 14, so that would be 7. Okay, its other arm swings around. But it's okay, clearly, as you ducked uncannily out of the way the first, you weren't quite where it expected you to be. And then it kind of starts to rise itself up. The Dragonborn have pretty much mopped up the Brigands at this point, and they start to try to help, mostly by trying to jump and just grapple the golem to try to stop it from standing. But it's starting to rise with its inhuman strength, even with 3 Dragonborn pulling down on it. The golem that is battling against Resmir, Ox, you'll see as you're kind of heading that way. Resmir's taken a massive chunk, but you see it go again convulse, and it just looks as if it's rejuvenated a little bit. So there's something strange about these golems. And it does look like your Dragonborn are probably now reduced to half their numbers and are starting what you recognise to be a tactical retreat to the village. The other Dragonborn from the south, 2/3 of those are starting to now march in a determined fashion, not a panicked race, but a determined kind of march to the north to reinforce their brethren. And we move and advance around. Okay, so let me think now.
I really hope my hunch with these eyes is correct.
Ooh,
I thought it was a car. I thought I had a car. Martin's like,
Yeah, it was. When we attacked the core on those dummies, they fell apart.
The Ox, make a perception roll.
11.
11. You see the pack of ghouls start to descend down the slight ramp, racing towards the northern pack.
Oh, shit. Cavalry will be useful again right now.
Okay.
We can't really get up to speed now.
So that's the ghouls. Diego.
Oh. I've managed to get both eyes out.
Yeah, you've got this. You didn't manage to get the second eye out. You effectively had to leave it there when it kind of started to stand. It's just got up onto one of its knees. There's 3 Dragonborn, kind of like literally American rugby tackle style.
Yeah.
Its head is about your head height now.
Then I want to plunge my rapier straight through that eye.
Okay.
And hopefully through the black crystal inside.
Okay. Because you're trying to go for such a precise hit, I'd impose disadvantage, but you would have advantage because it's technically still prone. So you just
normal
roll.
Oh, geez, that's 11.
No, it kind of
That's just a natural one.
turns its head. We're getting interrupted.
Diego just missed.
Ghouls, yes. Yeah, okay, so you just missed it. It turns its head aside as you kind of try to stab for it.
Can I make a second attempt with my dagger?
Yep, you're dexterous enough to do that.
Yep. Well, that's more like it. 23.
Oh, yeah, that's a hit, yeah.
Try and get this.
Yeah, magical dagger.
It is not.
Okay. So you smash into the eye, but the glass of the eye must be very, very strong and it doesn't break.
Right, okay. Damn. Right, next round then. Yeah.
Okay. Ox, you double move and you're now right on the southern periphery. You see a number of the Dragonborn starting to stand. It looks like they've had some kind of hit and run. Driver didn't stop, didn't get insurance details out or anything. And Resmia is almost single-handedly putting herself between the golem and the other Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
The bandits have the Brigands, have moved past the Dragonborn basically into the village, and you can hear the thwooth of slings and fucking hell. I thought we'd fuck. Let's hope Kenny wasn't paying any attention to that part down. As the militia, clearly trying to protect their homes. Okay, and you kind of get there. You're about another 20 feet away from the golem and Resmia, and you see the ghouls racing down. They've still got another couple of rounds of movement, you imagine, to get across, but they're baying like wolves. Apart from it's more chilling than that. I'm not quite sure I can get the eldritchness into my voice. The eldritchosity factor, I think.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
That kind of thing.
Do you think Martin's a ghoul? What? Could you show us your tongue? What colour eyes do you have? And that's yours, Ox. The golem swings at one of the Dragonborn and just flings it off, and then one of its fists comes slamming down into you, Diego. But you just kind of sidestep it and it into the ground. Then it. And it looks that much more healthy. Darian, you've slowed to what, 45 feet? Or do you want to take double moves still?
Whereabouts on the map would you say I am?
You are square G, column G, square row 4, and you're kind of like between the two houses. You can see the village there, and you can now see about 20, maybe not quite that high, mid to the high teens, brigands who are spilling in and trying to get to one of the houses, but they're getting hit by a rain of sling bullets, and that's just put them off, but it's not going to stop them, you don't think?
Yeah. Okay.
They're relatively closely packed, actually, but they're quite close to the house. It would take a fair amount of skill maneuvering the horse to be able to charge into them.
See, I want to take the horses for whatever kind of like last. I guess maybe a single move for them would be like
30 foot. No, 60 foot. They move 60.
Yeah, I'm just imagining how dismounting of that would go.
Well, you want to ride and then dismount?
Like just the single move, then dismount, and I want to try and kind of push the Brigands, call for the Dragonborn to retreat, and create a second line here. Is my intent. What's the most effective way to go about doing that?
So just
pressure on the Brigands to come out, shout for the Dragonborn to retreat to this line, and actually make a line.
So there is
But basically, I want my soldiers dismounted as well. Like this turn, if possible, and yeah.
So mounting or dismount is. I
don't think there's any rules on like the speed. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, there is. No, it takes half of your movement.
No. I mean like the speeds with your mount moves, which then you can then dismount. Like I don't think.
Oh, right. So you're not trying to slow them. So you slow into.
Fluff-wise, I'm trying to wonder like, so how difficult is it to jump off a mount that's just around 60 foot?
Oh, we're getting interrupted again. Okay, so I would say that. So what's 30 feet in 6 seconds? So that is 300 feet in a minute, which is a mile is what 5,000 feet. So 300 feet in a minute. So 10-minute miles. So yeah, you can probably dismount. You take the risk it for a biscuit.
Well, if it's worth it, maybe just ride them out until they get even closer to the Brigands and then dismount. While the horses are still slowing down next turn. And does that sound alright?
Yeah. So you can kind of come in. You can kind of your horses can double move. Let's just say that they're slowing down. And you move 45 feet. You get into the center of the village. You kind of hop off. They're still moving, but Gregor's the celestial mount, and the others are reasonably well trained. These are capable warriors. They're not green or anything. They are based in a frontier fort. So yeah, absolutely, they jump down. Your bodyguards surround you as soon as you kind of jump down. Marsh and Killeen taking point. You shout to the Dragonborn. They rally at the sight of you. The Brigands turn and kind of like face you. They've now got to fight on at least two fronts. They form up under the orders of one of them into a very loose formation.
Okay, and the Dragonborn fleeing, I guess, can cut some down as we press in between them and create this new line, hopefully.
Yeah, possibly, but the Dragonborn aren't really going to try and engage. They're trying to get to you to kind of join.
That's understandable if they want to get behind us first.
Yeah. Okay. And that is what your actions. Anything else?
No, I'm just wanting to move to create this line, put pressure on the Brigands, and actually create this line for the Dragonborn to fall behind on.
Okay, so we advance around. So Ox, you see that the ghouls are now a handful of them have split off to you and Resmir.
Mm-hmm.
The rest are piling into the village.
So I shout at the Dragonborn to go reinforce Darien in the village.
Yeah, they're quite pleased. They're entirely happy with that. It's what they were doing anyway.
Yeah.
This must be your improved leadership kicking in.
And I'm just charging straight at the golem now, who's fighting Resmir.
Yeah. Okay. So you're engaged with the golem.
So as I'm running up, I'm like dropping and swinging my axe slowly round and faster as I rush coming up, and then like I'll drop my like right shoulder and just swing it right up to like almost to like slice it upwards. In half.
Okay. I'm going to give you disadvantage on that very specific kind of attempt.
I'll use my inspiration then.
Okay.
Oh, so there's no really cool at this table.
There is, but let's just keep it tempered.
17 plus
that
9,
hits,
26.
That hits. Yeah.
That's still right.
I should be reading the rules for the thing I'm wanting to do while you're having your turn.
22 damage, and I'll then drop my left shoulder as a feinting attack. Can I do that now? I'll just use my next attack first, actually. 19.
Hits.
$22 damage.
Okay. I'm kind of like tracking damage in this as well, by the way.
So Resmi's nearly dead, is what he's saying.
Now, Resmi is surprisingly okay.
Oh, so she's the queen of
she's kick ass. Well, she is. I'm betraying a lot of you.
She shouts at you in Draconic. It regenerates.
Well, I'm going for its core then, because that's where I remember smashing into the previous ones before. And I will use a distracting strike this time to try and distract it away from Resmir as well. 21
hits.
To hit. So I'll do an extra d10. Ooh. 13. 27 damage.
Yep, okay.
And that's my go.
Okay.
But the next person to attack it gets advantage.
Okay, let's give Resmir that advantage then. She smashes into it, and does. Hold on a minute. Here she is. And she does that many. 2, 5. It's still there. She kind of like she just wildly swings at it as it's kind of like turning its body to kind of go with you. And is it on every attack, or is it just the next swing that gets advantage?
Just the next swing.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then she clips it pretty well. 14. And it kind of like screams in anger, and she says in Draconic again, the core.
The core.
Or you say nonchalant, the core.
That's what I was aiming for. Diego.
And you see her get this longsword. This great sword. That's, again, as I say, about 6 foot.
Yeah, I imagine her with like the Buster sword from Final Fantasy
and
VII.
she gets a whole shoulder behind it, and she just like never kind of like takes it much away, and she's braced it into her shoulder and dives it into the chest, and you hear a crinkling kind of sound, and then she pushes again, and you see it piercing through and come out, and black shards of glass kind of come shooting out of it, and then there's this massive bolt of electricity leaps from the sword out to a random point, and there's a creature that's got a similar shape to the smoke mephit in the court of Sarah Douche, but is made of electricity, and it kind of shakes and then kind of goes and like a column of light comes out, and then just a metal rod hits the ground.
The hell was that?
That's exactly what Resmi wants to know as well, but unfortunately she used all of her allocated time in the round. So the ghoul that is no, it's you, Diego, now, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to take another crack at those eyes. To be fair, I do not recall. I don't think Diego has any knowledge of flesh golems and cores.
It's not flesh golems and cores. We literally encountered them inactive and broke them. Like this, that was Paul's tutorial for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for that eye again. I think Diego's pretty determined on this.
Yeah.
You hear the screams through the ether as 1,000 paladins cry out in anguish and are suddenly silenced.
We did the tutorial in the fucking death.
In fairness, Ben, I sometimes leave games for so long I can't remember what the controls do either.
I'm gonna get some water. I'm so mad.
Well, it's fortunate that you're the count and can order him around. I like to play with my food, Darian. I treat my flesh golems like I treat my women. A little bit of foreplay.
I seduce them first. I stab them, then stab them. No. Well, I'm going to take another attack on this.
Yep.
Again, I'm going for the same.
Yep.
The same point.
With the rapier.
Yeah. 19.
Hits.
Ooh. Also good. A couple of ones and twos, but not too bad. 3, 6, 9. Sorry, 12. 68 magical piercing damage.
68.
26. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
28. Sorry, no, it's 28.
You've gone over his death threshold. He's dead now.
It collapses again. It lands on one of the Dragonborn, who kind of gets pulled out by its friends. He smashed the eye.
Is there a noticeable smashing sound?
Yeah, he smashed through the glass, smashed the eye.
Cool. Right. Any repercussions from that? Anything happen?
You're going to get a huge tax bill. No.
Okay. I would like to make either be an investigation or insight as to any weak points. I don't think Diego knows at the core.
So
I mean, Diego knows. I don't think Ben does.
Right, so let's stop. So do you get to choose how you want to play this, and it could well be that Diego was so harrowed by the experience that he turned away in that, or he didn't get involved in the menial activities of dismembering the flesh golems, and you were trying to.
I certainly don't remember being involved in that fight.
It wasn't a fight.
It wasn't a fight.
Okay, right. So out of character then. What happened was in the chamber below the village that you encountered, where they were metamorphosing them into ghouls, there were a number of remnants of the golems. They were the motionless figures at the back of the room. And when you kind of started to hack at them, I think Ox was the one who started to hack at them.
Yeah, they were full of
he hacked into the flesh, and there was a large black opal in the center of their bodies, and when that was cracked, they just crumbled into their parts. So that's what these guys are referring to in terms of the cause. Whether Diego happened to pay attention to that or not is kind of
clearly not.
Apparently not.
He clearly didn't. But what you make me a Arcana roll.
Ooh.
Make an Arcana.
I had to
roll.
make one of those before.
Yeah.
18.
18. Okay. So let's think this now. You're clearly puzzled by what the hell's going on with this, and you're kind of reflecting on it. You've squashed its eyes. You've done this kind of stuff, and you recall back when you were younger, and you had to have a humanistic general lesson as part of your education in the Dark Blade, and you were sent to the Elterchul Academy of Magic, where Lord Elterchul kind of gave you an incredibly kind of quick semester's worth of basic stuff. And one of the things there was covered that flesh golems are in part created by running electricity through an inert body, and therefore electricity heals them. And you've seen them convulsing before, so it would make sense that there's some form of electricity kind of going through them. And the biggest place, the torso, is the most obvious location to have whatever that might be.
Can the Dragonborn pinning it down be like, my lord, the core? And then when Diego does eventually destroy the core, they can be like, what a genius idea of yours, my lord. And then when he walks away, they're like, fucking idiot.
One of the Dragonborn looks at you and says, the core, my lord.
Oh my god. How often does the DM have to encourage metagaming?
Oh no! I mean, I think that's pretty good gaming. I can understand.
I was role playing for Dragonborn.
I think Diego may not have got involved in the minutiae of that. We can go and have a look at the recording if we're really interested, but I'm not doing that now. Wait, it costs us a whole viewer, so I could have said it costs us 50% of our audience, and both of those would have been technically correct.
Oh my god, we still have a viewer?
I'm assuming that somebody's just left it streaming and walked away, gone for a coffee or something. It convulses. So that was your turn. It convulses, and it goes back to that many hit points, and you feel it kicking at you, but it kind of swinging blindly. AC 16.
It doesn't hit.
Okay, and again swings with one of its arms, but it misses you, and it's again trying to stand. The Dragonborn, the core, my lord. Okay, Darian, you're next.
Right. How well can I get this row formed? And I'm assuming the Dragonborn are going to try and get behind me, but how well can I get this row established to brace for the ghouls' charge?
You don't know about the ghouls, do you? Oh, I told you that you know about the ghouls.
I know that they're a thing, and you said they were making a lot of noise, yeah? We're coming down that
Yeah,
hill.
okay, yeah, that's fair. It is, yeah, okay. You guys are well trained. This is standard order of the Gauntlet drills that you're intending to use. Your bodyguards form the wall incredibly quickly around you, and the rest of the order of the Gauntlet troops are starting to get into position. They're not as tight as the Dragonborn, but they are capable.
Well, they're working for less money, so.
But they get the chicks for free.
Yeah.
They want that from TV.
They do. They want their I'm trying to think of something funny, but I can't. So I'm not.
They're.
They want their Torm TV.
They're battle hymns.
No, they're not awesome about those. What a friend in Torm, now the end is near. That's what they're singing.
So what I want to do is obviously I can't really attack anything from my position here at the wall, but
well, you're beyond the wall. I think that's the point of that's why you don't have very good internet.
Yes, so I'm going to hold an action for just before the ghouls reach my warriors, and I'm going to turn unholy.
Okay.
That's a trigger. The second the ghouls are like, I guess within 5-10 feet, I'm going to channel divinity through my...
Oh, you're channeling divinity. When you said turn unholy, I thought you were going to go to the dark side and everybody was going to get a 100-point achievement.
Sorry?
When you said turn unholy, I thought you were going to turn to the dark side and everybody was going to get a 100-point achievement.
Yeah, Darian's betrayal. Channel divinity, turn unholy, and that is essentially turn undead, but it works on fiends too. Don't think that's relevant at the moment, but yeah, it's the whole 30 feet wisdom save shenanigans.
Okay. So you're ready in that action. Your men are getting together. The Dragonborn kind of skirt around the Brigands and start to join. They're bolstered. There's only about 10 of them, and one of them's really holding its arm into its side, and a couple of them are kind of got quite scathing wounds down. Okay, so there are 4 ghouls around.
The Dragonborn from the south, are the ones coming up, are they coming up close to
you
my
have
flag
no
now?
idea because you can't see What's your AC, Ox?
22.
Yeah, they're not going to hit that. So the ghouls kind of like jumping and slavering on you, but they just can't penetrate your armor, and you're kind of pushing them off and fighting them off. Then it is you, Ox. Yep, you get to go next.
So how many ghouls are around me?
4.
4.
The other ghouls, about 10, pushed past and have gone into the village.
I'm just going to try to sweep 2 of them out with my axe now, using a sweeping attack.
Mm-hmm.
If it hits, it will hit. So 19 plus 9.
Yeah, it hits.
And it does a... Let's read this. We hit a creature... So... I think they both take the same damage.
Okay.
Which is... Ooh, 16... 19... They both take 27 damage.
They both die.
And I will attack the other 2 for my second attack.
Yep.
I'll do another sweeping attack. 24.
Hits.
8, 15, 13, 19. Another 27 damage to both.
Oh, wow. They,
Woof. Woof.
Darren, you see Ox kind of get just these ghouls just like all over him, like a big pile on. He just doesn't flinch, kind of like just shrugs his shoulders upwards. They kind of like rise up, and then as they drop, he just swings his axe through all of them, cleaves them in half. They just fall like a shower around. Resmir looks at you and says, "Impressive." Make a perception roll, though.
He's a man.
There's an erection.
17. She's a dwarf in a dragonborn suit. You see the sword, and she's left it embedded in some of the flesh, and it looks like it's drawing some of the flesh into itself. It's quite uncanny.
The sword looks like it's
drawing like so where the sword's resting, it's almost like it's corroding into the flesh, but there's a distinct like almost flow as it and it's really hard to describe actually. And she lifts it, and the visual kind of leaves. She looks at you and says, "The priest."
Okay. Obviously, I'm not seeing it. The
No.
sword's drinking.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go for
You
the
don't know.
priest then.
She says the priest. You nod, and she double moves towards the olive grove.
Yeah, I'll go with her then.
Okay. Diego.
All right, I'm going back to fucking claw now.
You're doing what, sorry?
I'm going to go for that claw.
Yeah,
I don't think a 14 is going to get it, though, is it?
14 hits.
Oh.
I mean, if I give these like AC 20, then I think you guys would quite legitimately call foul.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'd still probably hit fairly regular because we got really high.
I would not. Darren's good.
Why? What's your plus to your attack?
I think what Martin is saying is, I would really, but just don't do that thing, Paul.
No, Darren's not good on the. He's good on the offensive damage. He's not good on the offensive hit.
Yeah.
35 magical piercing damage, so I plunge my rapier right in its torso, right in the middle of its torso.
You
Right
plunge
in there.
the torso. It's quite tough, a lot tougher than you expect it to be. But you put your heft behind it, and you kind of get the flat palm of your hand, and you start digging, and you feel it hit something, and then you feel it hit another thing, and it starts to vibrate a little bit, and then you push through again, and you hear the crack, and it collapses in on itself. The bits fall apart, the stitching falls apart, and there is a like the smoke method, but lightning in front of you. And then this thin blue line goes up. It folds itself into it, and then a small metal rod like that, maybe like that, clang onto the ground. You can see now that the metal rod has marks on it, wounds of some description.
Pick them up after the battle.
Yeah. Okay, that is my main action. Any other foes nearby?
Any what, sorry?
Any other particular foes? Brigands, etc.?
No, the Brigands have been swept up by the Dragonborn. The Dragonborn have headed off. You look up, you can see it looks like Ox and Resmir, or at least another black Dragonborn. You think Resmir, given the big sword she's got, are racing across to where this spectral guardian is in the olive grove.
It's a fair way away.
You can't really. It's about probably for you 4 round. No, for you it's probably
you can move
3.
really quick.
Yeah, for you it's 3 if you take the bonus action. You can hear some sounds of combat coming from the village, but you can't really make anything out because you're having to look through the trees and the houses and whatnot. But you can catch sight of some of the mounts of the other Gauntlet milling around at the back.
Right. I'll start making my way over. Full movement, dash.
To the north battle, or to the
towards
priest?
the olive grove.
Yep, to the olive grove. Okay,
You're
cool.
running under the guardian.
Well, the guardian only occupies.
I'm trying to get close to you guys. You guys.
So the guardian is occupying a space. It's not like dominating the whole grove or anything. It occupies the front central space of the grove. Okay, Darian.
Have the ghouls met my men yet?
Yeah, they shook hands. They chatted about times past. They've promised. They've promised that everybody's like in agreement that we should do this more regularly, but you don't think it's going to come off. It's one of those things. The ghouls come racing in, but they will need to kind of have another round. They've used their actions. They act at the top of the turn.
Bugger. What's the Brigand situation here?
Getting mopped up.
Jesus, frozen.
Yeah.
I just frozen.
Go you back.
Yeah, so they're getting mopped up by the militia and my men then.
Yeah, primarily the militia, because they're not paying as much attention to them and they're getting cracked on the back of the head by pretty good slingers. It's a village of
slingers.
It's a
no
village.
Gunslingers, slingers.
It's a village of slingers, which isn't as fun as the next village along, which is a village of swingers.
So they're definitely gonna.
But there we have it.
They're definitely gonna engage my men next.
They've kind of paused, and you're not quite sure why, but they're like prowling and.
Okay. So.
So they're prowling in the way that kind of groups of drunken teenagers do when they're about to have a fight. They're waiting for somebody to make the first move, and then they're going to go. You get the impression that they're going to be coming in.
How far away are they from me?
20 feet.
Oh, then, and all of them are within at least 30 feet of me then?
No. This is like the front rank.
How many are there? I thought you said 10 got to the village.
Yeah, that's 10. Yeah. So the closest are 20 feet away from you.
Closest are 20 feet. Then I'm just gonna order a charge, run right up, as close as I can to the front rank to try and get as many as I can, like behind it in the turn unholy, and just do that.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So it's what DC save?
It is. Oh, that needs adjusted.
What does turn and holy do?
It's like turn
Paint me a picture of what you do.
Well, basically, Darren's going to run up, hold his shield high, and the symbol of Torm on his shield is going to radiate divine light all over the
Okay.
ghouls. And
All over the land.
they're going to have to make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they're turned for 1 minute or until they take damage, and they must spend their turns moving as far away as they can.
What's the DC?
DC 15, so whatever percentage. Are you doing this by percentage?
No, I've just rolled dice. Okay, so they flee, but one stays. He looks around at his mates. He's like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I wanted to pass that actually. They turn and they kind of like go pretty much north. Some go north, some go south, some north, some south, some west.
Okay.
Apart from this one.
We'll flatten whatever.
Killing's killed it.
Okay.
He just puts his sword through its gullet. Let's just check he does that. Yeah, he does. Let's just check he kills it. And it's like that. Yeah. Yeah, he kills it.
Right. So then I guess I'm just going to use my bonus action to say my men can take on... Yeah, 25 of my men can take on 9 ghouls.
So you're using a bonus action to do maths?
Yeah, no, yeah, so I'm going to do my bonus action. Finish up here. Gregor, to me! And I'm going to get ready to mount up again when Gregor gets to me, obviously.
He's on a go slow. Is this live? He says, is this live? It's been
Some random guy in the village called Gregor like wandered up like, what? With a little sling in his hand.
He's playing Mario on the Switch. Yeah, he comes over. Yeah, he gets to you that round. You can't mount him because it takes half your move to mount.
Yep, and I used up pretty much.
Okay. Make me perception check, Ox. As we advance around.
7 plus 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see the spectral figure and you can see the golem, but you can't quite see anything else really in the olive grove. Partly because it's got quite dark around there.
Yeah.
This isn't natural. It's got a bit shady or there's a cloud over it or anything else.
Yeah.
This is a natural dim darkness. And you can see a little bit of a sickly green glow coming from there. Make me a perception check, Diego.
Oh, that's good. 23.
Wow.
You can tell that the priest buys his vestments from Marks and Spencer's. And judging by the wear of them, he probably got them a couple of years ago.
Okay. Marks and Spencer's is on the next Inquisition.
In the Winters catalogue.
Yeah. You also note that he's got a white band around his finger where he must be removing his wedding ring before he ventures out on unholy roads. You can see, as I just described for Ox, but clearly your vantage point must be better for this. There is
a bit more clearing in the trees.
Yeah, there is a green rectangle that's in front, and you see the silhouette of the priest, and through the rectangle steps a pretty large figure that is clearly some form of demon or devil or something like that. And then another couple step out as well. It has got big wings as they unfurl. It looks like it's got some form of trident, and they kind of step out into the olive grove clearing. They are about 10-11 feet tall.
Okay.
So similar size to the golem.
The goals.
Darren would be useful right now against demons.
Well, If someone, if you weren't going to use the carpet, I could sure have used it now.
They then disappear.
Oh fuck.
Oh, the priest.
No, the
demons.
devils, demons, infernal, demonic, whatever creatures that you see, and one appears bang next to you.
Got Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay.
Ox one appears bang next to you and Resmir.
Fuck.
Are you flanking it though?
Yep. Okay. I'm going to keep your initiative. Your initiative 15. It is going before you. So they would have gone. Then they go. Okay. It's tall. It's got this huge curled horns that kind of come down there. These wings. It is just popped into existence next to you. You're not quite sure exactly where you're like, whoa, Billy-O. What's going on here? And it gets it's not actually a trident because it's only got 2 prongs, and stabs you with it. A big fork hitting AC 27.
Ooh. Yeah.
This is Ox.
Oh, right. I thought it was Diego.
Oh.
No. Diego, you actually do go first in the initiative order, so it would be you. And it went before you. So, ouch. So it's going to do 20 points of damage.
Uncanny dodge. Uncanny dodge.
I will uncanny dodge that.
Okay, it swings back around and hits AC 20.
Molly,
its fork
Molly attacks a
again.
bitch.
This time doing 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And then you hear a crack and a swing as its tail whips around from its body and pierces your side, hitting AC 16.
Misses.
Okay, whoa, Billy-O. Okay, what are you doing?
I'm retaliating on this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So as I see the tail come by, parry that, pirouette, stab. And I presume this thing's got no other allies than 5 feet.
No. Unless it puts its arm around you and offers to get you a drink.
Mm.
I think a 12 is going to get him, is it?
A 12 will not get him, no.
No. I bet a normal dagger won't do anything on this fucker. I'm going to keep dashing towards Darian and Ox.
No, Darian's one way and Ox.
Darian's Ox the other.
Right, where is Darian in relation to Battlefield?
Darian's in the village.
Okay, so you don't really know, but you have seen Order of the Gauntlet mounts milling around in the village.
Well, if I can't see Darian, I presume like Ox is fairly hard to miss.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll keep making my way north.
And you can see one of these creatures kind of next to Ox and Resmir.
No, I am not, because I've got...
Oh, you've got bullshit, yeah.
I've got rogue bullshit.
Didn't you have to damage it for that to happen?
It just says I have to make
attack it. You just have to
that's right, you have to attack it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Fucking thing. Oh, I've got a good mic, you'd have heard that.
And then I'm going to use my bonus movement to dash.
Yep, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you move
Another 60 feet away.
60 feet. Okay, cool. So the one on you, he's going on a better initiative. That is going on. So I mean, that is going on. It just materializes and then swings at you with its fork, hitting AC 22.
You talking to me
Ox, yep.
now? Me.
It does 11 points of piercing damage as it gets between your
Ooh.
Okay, you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm going to attack it back.
Okay, so you like riposting, you parrying, you doing anything?
I can only do that if it misses.
Bullshit call. It comes swinging in again and clangs off your armor. And then you hear this crack and its tail swings around, hitting AC 16, missing.
So I'll riposte that.
Okay.
17.
Misses.
Ah.
You clang against it. You feel like you've got a good hit against its muscled torso, but it does not penetrate.
Okay.
So to speak, if you will. Okay. Resmia takes her attacks at it as well. Where are all my d20s? Right there. Oh, wow. And she smashes one of them and gets a crit.
Oh, yes!
Nice.
Now let me have a look at the sword that she's used.
Marry this girl, Ox.
Do I still get my attack after Resmir? Because that was just my...
Yeah, she happens to...
Right. Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm acting outside of initiative, but whatever. I never respect initiative order anyway. So she gets...
We
we
lost Paul.
Lost Paul.
What's that? No, I can still hear you. You
Lost.
guys.
The stream will have dropped out then.
No, I can still hear you. I'm getting everything apart from Josh. But the stream did drop out, as it happened.
Alright.
So let's just wait for it to reconnect. Just give it a couple of seconds, it will reconnect. So it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it does 8. So I've got 6. Oh, have they got immunities? Resistances, damage resistances. Okay, no, it's not resistant to any of this bullshit. So she does 6, 10, 12, 16, 20, 21, 27.
I like it.
She does 27 points of damage.
Good.
That'll be down to that, and it makes something. Oh, so this sword bites into the flesh of the creature, and you definitely see it starting to some kind of like the flesh gets called tight against it, like as if like you're pulling on a blanket and it gets really tight. It kind of gets like that, and the creature's like screams, and she withdraws the sword. So she did all that.
My blade hungers.
Okay, that's Resmi. So Ox.
So now I will attempt to trip it with my trip attack.
Okay, what are there any restrictions?
If I hit it, I'll attempt it. Anyway, it says when you hit.
Yeah. Okay.
18. Does that hit?
18 hits.
Okay, so I'll do my damage for the hit first. 9, 13, 17, 27 damage.
Okay.
And it makes a strength saving throw.
DC.
I don't know, I don't say.
It'll be like your strength plus 8, blah blah blah.
Oh, it have to be a 17, I think.
It fails. So it's knocked prone.
Yep.
Okay, and it's not immune to being prone, so that is fine. You grab it, it collapses back.
And so now it's on the floor. I could go whack with my other 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
With advantage.
Mm-hmm.
18 again.
Hits.
Yeah, right, 6. 17 damage.
Okay.
And 18. I've rolled 3 9 plus 9.
Hits.
14. 23 damage.
It screams in anguish. as it collapses and moving.
Yes. Right, roar again. Orcs is getting quite angry at this battle now.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's my go.
Okay. Cool.
I'll turn to face the other one that's approaching with Diego.
No, Diego's.
And this one,
Okay, so Darren.
Right. So can I get mounting and moving as fast as possible to catch up with the others?
Yeah. Gregor's there. You get mounted. That uses half your speed. You use his double move, 120 foot, and you're probably caught up with Ox actually.
Oh. Well, do I pass by that other demon?
Well, you'll. Which other one? Which other one? The one with Diego?
Yeah.
No, Diego's one to the south.
Ah, right. I will just catch up with Ox then. And
Yeah.
on my way there, I will say, you agreed to leave the fucking carpet with him and he didn't fucking use it!
I'm like, where the hell have you been?
Darian, make an Arcana roll.
Right. Well, he's gone. I'm pretty sure -1 at this. So 1.
Okay.
What?
It was a 2 that got turned into a 1. So not a natural one.
Okay. The DC was higher than 2 or higher than 1. Okay, yep, so that happens. Right, so top of the round is the creature that's attacking Diego. So you move, 60 feet?
Mm-hmm.
It flies 60 feet and takes a swing.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay.
And takes a swing, so it's like swooping down behind you now. Misses your AC 17?
My AC is 18, 2 misses.
18, so it misses that.
He's got good AC for a rogue. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you've got a dex of
Dex to it.
15.
I'm max my dex, and I can add my charisma to. No, that's to my initiative. I can't add that to my armor class. Never mind.
But I have
I've
been
got
doing
good AC.
Yeah.
AC 26.
Yeah.
The fork pierces. Oh, fucking hell, I'm rolling well. For 20 points of damage.
I uncannily dodge it.
Okay, that reduces it to 10. And then its tail swings in again, hitting AC 19. For 10 points of damage. Make me a constitution save.
Ooh. Oh, shit. Fuck. That is a 4.
Okay. You feel this thing kind of like creeping you. It's really, really invasive. It's kind of like, it's like an anal cavity search as it rummages into your back. But it's like really, as well as being quite painful. You take a further 15 points of damage.
Ooh, okay. I don't like that. That's looking great.
All right, okay.
All right.
So you take that damage at the start of your turn.
Oh, I take 15 at the start of each turn.
No, at the start of, so you take 15 at the start of this turn.
Right.
But the wound is festering and you can feel it being painful there.
I need to get to Ox.
I'm not ready.
Is he a move away? Well, he's with Dari the medic.
So that's its turn. So it is now you.
Can I see Ox or Darren?
Yeah, you can see all those. So you can see Darian on Gregor. He's beside Ox. Resmi is there. They're clearly heading towards the olive grove. The darkness from your view is starting to dissipate a little bit, and the green rectangle has gone.
Okay, so presumably there'll be no more of these things.
There's the golem there.
Yeah.
And there is another one of those things has just appeared there as well. There were 3 that came through the
3.
green rectangle. You've got 2. All 3 disappeared. You know where 2 are, and another. There's another one just appeared in the olive grove. So you don't know if that's a 3rd or if there's a 4th or what have you.
Or it's one of the other ones. Yeah. Right. I'm going to take a stab at this. Okay.
Darian is also. You can see his bodyguard trooper racing on their horses after him.
How far away would you say they are? Like, is it within a move, within a
So
turn?
let me just do the maths on this one. So they double moved, so that's a 120 there. You were, I said it was 190. So they are probably double move and a dash away from you.
Double more than a dash.
So if you were to double move and dash, you'd be with them.
Right. Okay.
But that would provoke an attack of opportunity. Is the only thing.
Yeah.
No, you've got your because you haven't taken a swing at them.
Yeah. I'll take a swing at it. I will take a swing at this.
Okay.
Well, that was really close to a 20. 24.
24 hits. It just feels like Ben's just doing a bit of hammering.
Just very
Some
deliberate.
really great rolls on us.
I should probably invest in a fistful of D8s. The way the
Yeah.
things are going.
Invest in a fistful of dollars. It's a great film.
I tried giving it a watch, but it's weird. It seems like they've dubbed over the stuff they've recorded. Is that right?
I don't know.
remember
Was
it being that
it
bad.
dubbed in Mexican?
Yeah.
No. It was like I was watching it in English. I was like, it's not like the volume or even the lip syncing is matching what they're saying quite right.
Okay.
20. 31.
31.
Wait, was this sneak attack?
Yeah.
Diego can sneak attack if it's alone, can't you? Because you've got the swashbuckler.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. If he's got advance, yeah.
If he's alone, yeah.
Yeah, if he's alone. Okay, great. Yep, you take you kind of like try to attack its tail and lacerate him of what caused you such a intrusive wound. Okay, and then anything else?
I'll keep moving.
Yeah, double
towards the boys.
Ox Darian, you see Diego
bonus action.
racing like his life depends upon it. It gets to you and he does the whole Mo Farah thing.
Yeah.
And you can see the demon, devil, Yugoloth,
Thing.
in Outsider. Fiend, you reckon, is probably about right.
Not a friend anyway.
And it's clearly chasing after him. Diego, you see other members of the Order of Gauntlet mounted, kind of coming out of the village in a bit of a straggle, but they're clearly trying to catch up. They must have dealt with whatever situation they were dealing with, or at least the Dragonborn have, or some combination have. Everybody, no, not yet. That's Diego. Ox.
How far away is this one that's chasing after Diego then?
9 foot.
From me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And how far away are we from the olive grove, the ones in there?
You're about 60 foot if you want to go through the Guardian. You're probably 70 to 80 if you want to skirt what you perceive to be its range. The Guardian has not moved. Darian, you know it doesn't move. Ox, you possibly
I don't know what it does.
I'll give you a percentage chance because this is likely to be something you've encountered in your mercenary career. No, you don't really, but it's up to you.
I'll wait for Diego to catch up so that I'll ready myself to attack this thing when it gets near us.
Okay.
Well, is Diego with us? Could you not move 30 feet to Diego?
Yeah, towards Diego, yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
So you meet Diego.
Yeah.
Ox meets
him.
you. Resmir does the same. She moves with you. Yeah, Darian.
Right, is the cleric obviously still there, or can I
Make a
not
perception
get
roll.
sight of?
Perception
Okay.
roll. Because it's dim
Right.
within the olive grove.
Darian's not good at these. Whoa! Well, he gets a +0, but natural 19.
You think he possibly gets his robes from Next? Maybe Marks and Spencer's? You're not sure. Some mid brand retailer. Yes, the cleric is being embraced by the fiend.
Embraced.
Yeah.
Hell.
Big hug.
Okay.
Are they kissing?
With tails.
But they're obviously there. But you said that that feature will slow the horses down. Yeah.
Which feature?
The Olive Garden.
Yes. He said, so well, you can ride your horse through it. You could even possibly go.
Is it difficult horse terrain? Would that be a fair ruling?
No, it's not THT. It's more you couldn't take an organised charge through it.
All right.
But
they
as
can
a single rider, you can gallop kind of like through it. Yeah, if you think about it as the scene where in the Fellowship where the Nazgul are chasing Frodo carried by what should be Glorfindel but is Arwen in some incredibly fucking annoying rewrite because they thought that Glorf, even though he's from the first age and was allowed out of the halls of Mandos because he slayed a Balrog, wasn't an important enough character to make the screen. Not that I'm bitter about it at all. But he's my favourite Middle-earth character and the fuckers just ignored him. But he did get into the scene at the Council of Elrond, so life is good. But not, he didn't talk.
Say anything.
Didn't do anything.
Anyway, yeah, go on, sorry.
That
That all occurs to you as you are. so like, you know, so Arfindel was able to dodge in and out and of those kind of like trees, and the Nazgul, however, was spread, and as they had to regroup us and all that kind of stuff. So it's that kind of terrain.
Well, I'm assuming they've either got a super duper escape strategy, or they are just holding their ground because they're desperate at this point.
Oh, they're overconfident.
Their overconfidence is their weakness.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
I think our friend is ours.
Well, I'm torn.
That Death Star is operational.
I'm torn between healing Diego and dispelling the Guardian. Is what's going. I guess I'd heal Diego. That would be, yeah.
So you ride over to Diego. Your bodyguards ride over with you.
I slap him. So he's only 60 feet away. Yeah.
You slap him 60 feet. Ooh.
He
He's only
lands.
60 feet away, so that means I need a launch at the cleric. Yeah.
He took some rolls. Comes out with 9.4, 9.4, 9.5.
Stabs the demon.
Yep. Okay. Lay on hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay on hands him.
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask him how much he needs, or should I just approximate based on how rough he's looking?
Approximate based on how rough he's looking.
He's not looking great.
He's not looking great, and I know he's probably he's a rogue, so I'll give him 40.
Ooh.
I mean,
He's looking a lot better.
That's most of my lay on hands. That's the majority of it.
As you place your hand kind of like on him to kind of like do this, you see that the wound that this tail, this proboscis, created in his side is festering. It's got maggots in. It's just tinged with hellfire, and it's starting to smell sulfuric. But as you lay on hands, all that kind of forced out onto the floor, and it turns to black ichor. Centipedes scurries off and other such creatures.
You're welcome.
Okay, top of the round.
Do I still not get another move with my horse? No.
Well, you'll have had to dismount to lay on hands for them. No, you wouldn't.
Climb on it.
So yeah, you can.
Then can I? I'm gonna move up to. Wait, there's a demon coming. I will stand stalwart with my companions.
Okay. Top of
With power
the
stance.
round. So the fiend kind of flies and swoops towards you all, and about 10 feet away, it looks like it's attacking one of you, and then it just disappears off.
And then.
And
Okay.
then a cool breeze flows across the meadow.
Right.
Well, that was disappointing.
Oh, let's probably
Diego.
go back to the cleric.
And we were all ready for it.
Oh, do you want to? No. Carrying capacity? No, I don't think Gregor would be able to take another person back
No?
for the horse. Well,
Oh, yeah, Gregor
Diego's
could.
light. I know Diego's light, but I'm wearing plate, and I know a lot of it.
Oh, Gregor can carry Diego.
Okay, then Diego can hop on as well then, and we'll ride.
Diego,
Diego's
Lego
just
lasts
surfing.
Diego's got these slippers that allow him to walk. Does that mean you can stand horizontally on a horse? Just like hover there as a plank.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it
He's-
does.
Hold on, let me get them.
You'd be very nauseous though. You'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that on the edge of the horse.
I'm trying to get fast tread miniature and just show you what it would look like. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's down here.
Right, so I'm on the horse. I presume that'd be like a bonus thing to get up there.
No, it's half your movement.
Happy movement.
Oh, okay. Oh, wicked. Oh, the horse is moving for me then.
Yeah.
It will be when it starts moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Well,
is
what are we going towards?
this is Diego.
Mhm.
This is the horse. This is.
Yep.
This is what's happening.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah. But I'm not going to do that because that'd probably piss the horse off.
Yeah.
Gregor was
Just-
already slightly pissed off.
Yeah, well, I don't want to piss him anymore. Otherwise, it'll kick me. I imagine. What are we riding towards then?
The cloak. We need to get this cloak of bane and the other demons.
Oh,
Alright,
you
so
don't
as
know
you
yet.
turn towards the olive grove, you see that the fiend has essentially got his arms wrapped around the cleric, and they're starting to fly off.
Oh, the bastards! We need to get that carpet out.
Where's Ox?
He's right next to us.
I'll start unfurling the carpet.
Yeah, get that carpet.
Ah, if you had a
Diego
flying
goes at
horse.
Ox, it takes you the your
Round
round to get it around to unfurl it, start to get everybody on it. Everybody make perception checks.
Yeah. 11.
Oh, natural 20. He's feeling all the perception today.
There's a load
23.
of small figures racing across the field from the forest.
From where?
From the forest, you can't quite make out exactly what they look like, but they're small humanoid figures. Also, the golem is still in the olive grove.
Yeah. I smell gnome. Who's... do we go for
No.
the golem? Do we go for the guy?
Only creatures, only those of us with magic weapons can harm that golem. Resmir says.
Alright, I need to get that cleric. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you guys can do you.
Well, I'm on your horse, so we're going towards the...
Oh, no, the round was him unfurling and then it's all jumping on the... Or unless you want to take the golem.
What are you doing? So this is top of the round is
You two take the carpet and go after
Diego.
the cleric.
top of the yep.
Try
Do-
and bring him to the ground. Me and Resmi will go after the golem.
Okay, 3.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Diego and Darian, you jump on the
Carpet.
carpet.
Yeah, and I say support Ox to my men before I.
Wash and
get forward
Colleen
here.
dives on the carpet.
That's fine. I expected him to.
Shows off on my carpet.
Okay. So Diego, you're on the carpet. Ox, you're racing off towards the golem. Resmir comes with. Darian, you jump on the carpet. Okay, so next round they continue flying. Diego.
Well, being on the thing, it's just a case of moving the carpet closer to them.
Yep. Okay. Ox.
So we'll move towards the golem.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do this quick time. So it is a load of forest gnomes that are coming out of the forest. There's a load is about 20. And truth be told, as you kind of look down and see them, they're not especially well equipped. They're the forest gnome equivalent of the town militia, the village militia. But
they've got heart, and that's what counts.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're led by Tef.
Ah.
Or at least they're led by a massive fucking tiger, upon which one is riding.
A tiger.
Yeah, one of them is riding. A couple are riding beside on giant badgers.
Oh, awesome.
And they're kind of racing in. You see the Dragonborn also starting to spill out, following the mounted Order of the Gauntlet. Only 4 or 5 of the Dragonborn that you can kind of see. And you guys on the carpet are keeping pace, but not getting closer to the priest and the fiend.
It's a risky move, Diego, but you've got that cloak.
I want to use that cloak to help us get back to Arx.
What's the range on the cloak?
Quickly.
What's the range?
It's like a mile, isn't it?
It's like just under a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you take down one of the demons, surely that'll be enough to offset them. And there's already one that you've been attacking, yes?
And take down the cleric, and hopefully this battle should be mostly won. Okay. I can take one person with me. It's just us on the car. Is it? Oh.
Marsha and Killeen.
Marsha and Killeen's on the carpet, but I wouldn't fancy my chances falling. I was going to go diagonal down as you jump to try and pick you up on the,
He's going to catch you in case you fall, is he?
Yeah, I'm going to try and be below if you attack if you kill the one you've already damaged.
That's optimistic.
All right, hold on. Let's stop. Right, so the one that's got the priest is not the one that's already damaged.
There's only one with a priest. The one disappeared.
The other one disappeared. There is one embracing the fella. Damn it, Killeen. Shit.
Thing is, I don't have many ranged spells.
They're 120 ahead of you.
Can you swoop in to catch me?
I wouldn't be optimistic about that. It would be quite hard to catch you, but I'll endeavour to do. I don't think you'd be able to kill a fresh demon, though.
Well, you just have to slow them down. All you have to do is teleport, grapple them, slow them down.
Oh, just be heavy enough. Oh, what? So we just grapple them to be heavy enough to down to the ground.
Just teleport over there, just go like that, and so then you're all in free fall.
Oh,
then you fly in.
That's assuming we make the grapple, man.
Yeah. That's what I assumed you was doing.
Okay, how high are we off the ground? That sounds good.
Imagine you're going to have to one-hit a demon.
How much does Diego weigh?
Not much, he's fairly
But he could take Diego. No, he could take Darian. He could take one of them. And
How much does Darian weigh?
Fucked. I'm a brawny human wearing full plate.
Okay.
Are you coming with me on this jump, then?
I guess we'll do that grapple.
Right.
And I'll tell Killeen, so we'll get Killeen to hold the carpet so he's got a feel for it before we jump, and then let's go.
He's got to catch you.
The easiest thing would be, he needs to know the command words.
We'll tell him the command word, and like during this chase, we'll give him like the reins so he gets a little feel for
The command word was
and then
Tom
we'll go.
Stinks.
Clearly, Kenny made this magic carpet then.
Right. Ready?
Oh, ready as I'll ever be.
I don't even let Darian finish.
So we're just trying to grab either or when he teleports us to them.
Okay.
In fact, we'll preferably grab the cleric. Preference.
So this is what is it? So this is the Cloak of Mountbank, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cloak of Mount.
You've got to hope Killeen catches you here, otherwise this is game over.
I know. Or we do a very slow but hurried fall as the demon tries to hold us up.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the dim door.
Is this going to be Gandalf?
Range is
Balrog?
500
Oh,
foot. So the range isn't just under a mile. The range is 500 foot, which is a tenth of a mile.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Does it just take your bonus action? Like you still have your action to grapple, yeah, Diego?
As an action.
Oh, you teleport as an action.
Yeah. I can't grapple as a...
You can bring weight.
Yeah, but you can, Darian.
You can also
Yeah,
bring
but then Diego's free falling.
Not if you're holding on to him.
Oh, actually, yeah. What if Diego grapples me and then we jump?
Diego's not going to be strong enough to carry you if you're a burly human in full plate.
What? We're not.
No, you grapple me. I teleport us.
If he grabs onto me and then when we teleport, I grapple the cleric.
No, it's not going to work. What's your strength, Diego?
It's a straight 10.
No, you're not carrying him.
No,
He's not going to. He's not going to lift you.
He's carrying himself.
No. So he's going to what? So describe that to me again.
Right. So Diego grabs me, and then we cloak of the mountebank, and then I grab the cleric. So Diego's only holding his own weight. He's not carrying anything else.
Yeah, because you're going to be
I'm just
in midair.
on the back of you. It's not what you're going for.
If you so be aware. If you would arrive in a place already occupied by an object or creature, you and any creature traveling with you each take 4d6 force damage on a spell failed to teleport you. So you can't land on their space.
Well, we'll teleport in front diagonal above.
I'm going to need an intelligence check to work out that.
From me, I presume.
This is going to kill you.
And you're probably, so they'll have gone 120, 120. You're probably 70 or 80 feet up.
You just need a ranged attack.
That's not as bad as I thought.
We just need a range attack.
Throw a dagger 120 feet.
It's not going to kill anything, though.
Yeah, but it might take him out of the air.
No, I don't think it will.
Cut his wing.
I don't think it will.
They're not magical daggers. They are ornate. They are 3 ornate daggers.
Yeah.
But they're I'm in really a pickle here. And there's no way this carpet can get any faster to catch them.
No. 60 feet.
Shit.
Where are they heading out of interest? Because I assume we've been trying to figure out how to catch them for a wee while now.
North.
Oh yeah, remember there was that other place that we found out about before, where they'd attacked somewhere as well. That we assume was near that other base, or one of.
Right. Darian, fucking catch me.
Oh, so you're jumping by
I
yourself?
draw my sword back out.
You don't have an action.
I can't get you over there, I don't think.
Okay. But I don't think you're sticking the landing if you go by yourself.
We'll see.
Because you don't have an action to stick the landing with, like to grapple or anything. I mean, Paul, you can weigh in on this, but I'm pretty. Is that the correct assumption? There?
Yeah. You're going to be. So you're trying to teleport into space
far away
where a moving object. So let's just So you're trying to teleport into space where above where you think a moving object's going to be when you're moving as well.
I'm going to need an intelligence check.
To land on it without an action available to you because you're slightly disorientated from the teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to smash out away.
So in 3 dimensions, it's actually quite a hard thing to do anyway. But I'll give you a check to do that. And I'll be fairly generous on the DC, given how much of a swashbuckler and acrobatic, etc. Diego is, but you still got to do that. And then you're going to land on it, and it's a pretty big creature with a lot of muscle, so you can imagine it's fairly strong.
Yeah, so I'm going to store my shield, one hand free, one hand on a sword.
There's no way for me to get to it.
You also know these things can disappear at will.
Yeah, but the cleric can't.
Oh,
So
you
that's
don't
what
know
I
that.
presume
You don't know if it can
back
carry it. Cape
Yeah,
and
it
mountain
can.
bike allows you to take another creature.
Yeah.
Well, it's our only shot, and we're only 70 feet up, right?
Right, okay.
How many d6s are that?
76. It can survive.
76s. I think I can hope I can survive
More
that.
than that? Right, this is our only shot anyway. So
Right, an intelligence check.
So the
first.
other option, Martian Killeen says, is they don't seem to know that we're here. Why don't we just follow them to find out where they go?
Yeah, but then there could be reinforcements where they land, Killeen.
But then we'll know where they are, and we can take our own reinforcements to it. This way, if we don't capture this thing alive, the cleric alive, we won't know anything more about them.
Well, following them's still an option. If we plummet. I mean, it's not like there's much to hide in the sky. I'm sure we can see where
I'm
they
coming
land.
to
even-
you, Killeen says. I'm not following them. And there's
Yeah,
no order that you can give to me that will cause me to not do that.
Yeah, but after you pick me back up, let's go for following them again.
Right. You want an intelligence check to see if I.
Yep.
Right.
This is super risky for you, though, is the thing, Diego.
Oh, jeez.
So we fucked it.
An 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pick a spot, you're kind of trying to work it out, trying to understand it, thinking if I was to shoot with my bow or throw something, whereabouts would I be? And you're about 10 foot off, and you kind of, they're like, what the fuck? As you materialize.
Grappling hook.
I
Would be great, but I don't have an
You've not got an action.
Don't have
man,
action.
Diego.
If only you were a fight of action, Serge.
Oh, please tell me you didn't forget. You didn't have inspiration there, did you?
Yeah, but you can't use that from the right.
I know, it's too late now, but please tell me you didn't have it.
And you're dropping 70 foot.
Yeah.
80 foot, because you have to be above them.
Okay.
So I have in my hand 66. 34 points of damage.
34.
34.
It's fine, I just
34.
healed Diego.
Still up?
Yeah, I just healed Diego.
You
for that much,
fall and smash into the ground. You're wounded. Winded, sorry. As you kind of like stand, Killeen, kind of like a few seconds later, kind of lands beside you.
Right, let's just follow them.
Perception checks.
How can they be hiding? There's nothing to hide from in the sky.
Yeah, but they're moving
Perception
quite
checks.
quick. If you watch
Yeah,
a
but they're
bird,
still a
Perception
speck.
checks.
They're the
Perception
only speck
checks.
in the sky.
Perception checks.
Oh, jeez.
From everyone?
From you
Or
two.
just not from Darren?
I'm taking a lucky on this.
I'm
one,
nowhere
but,
near. You might have landed on a gnome.
Shit. My rolls are going down the drain. 14.
14. And,
Okay, Don't know where they went.
what about that is bull. That is such bull.
So, okay, so let me explain. No, okay, stop.
No, I'd
Let me
agree
explain
with
this
Paul,
logic. What happens is they see you, they immediately go low.
Right. What about Colleen then?
No, Killing came to see you. He was saying, yeah, they descended. They went over like, that way.
Well, let's go that way.
Okay. You head off along through similar land as you kind of like left. It was around here, he says. There's no sign.
But he was privy to it. It's not like he had anything else going on.
You've no sign.
Can you sense fiends?
Not that range, I don't think.
Isn't it like a mile?
I don't think so. It's 30. It's 60 feet.
Did you catch a glimpse of any particular objects on the cleric?
And what do you mean?
Well, the way we ended up finding the crown jewels.
You know he's got a holy symbol of Bane.
Did I swap
Could you
out?
search for a symbol of Bane so we know which direction?
Swapped out locate objects for the battle.
Darren's going to turn up a longbow next time, isn't he?
Well, surely they can't. What? And there's a forest below us, presumably.
Sorry?
There's a forest below us, presumably.
No, you're not in the forest. They went away from the forest of Mir.
Then let's just fly up and along. How can they have gone missing?
Teleport! Fucking teleported!
What do you mean? How could they not be?
Right, so you were flying, you fell 70 feet, you were winded, you had to recover from that. Right, so they went down to the ground. You have no idea, in a general area, you have no idea exactly where. Marshal Killeen was looking for where you were, not where they were. So you have a reasonable idea of in which kind of geography they are. The fiend can disappear at will, as far as you're aware. You don't know if you can carry anybody. You can't see them. You can have a search around, that they cannot find them. There's no sign of a track. There's no sign of the kind of like them landing or anything of that nature.
They'll just retreat to the other base that we're going to eventually go to anyway.
We know the locations.
Yeah, we know the location is the next one. We got that report before, didn't we?
Is this in the general direction of that report?
You don't really know.
Being hard to say.
But it's near the mountains. The mountains with
No. The mountains are to the north of Saradouche. You're to the south of the county. You're at least 130 miles away from there.
Yeah, they might not be going immediately.
You weren't travelling that far. You haven't gone past Saradouche. You're well still in the south. So going back to the golem.
Yep.
Okay, you guys are advancing on the olive grove. It is standing relatively impassive.
In what?
Impassive.
Oh. Yeah, maybe it goes down after distance. Can we just run up and smash it in the car?
You kind of like race in, smash it, and yes, you dismember it in a very similar way to how you dismembered the other.
There's a big guardian thing disappeared as well.
It's still there actually, but you can skirt around that. That's not a problem.
And all the gnomes are just charging in.
Yeah, they come racing in. The militia come racing in. Everybody meets. You're hacking away this thing. They have a hack away at it. You turn back to the village, and you can see carrion birds starting to gather on the dead.
Oh, I think I'll start to organise people retrieving the dead and the fallen now at this point, and set up a few people to keep watch there still, like on the borders.
Yeah. Okay. So the gnomes identify themselves as being from the village Tef. Kind of. You don't see her particularly in tiger form, but she kind of comes back through. She has the ranger with her, and she's rallied those guys, and they were adamant that they were going to kind of come and offer whatever aid they could in exchange for being warned of the danger. They are quite desirous to meet with the Count himself so that they can kind of pledge allegiance to him, given that he expressed concerns to them. The militia and the people kind of aid with clearing up. The Dragonborn have taken the biggest hit. Of the 50 warriors that you brought, 35 remain. All of the Order of Gauntlet are alive.
And everyone is my brother still alive?
Your brother's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to gather the dead and wait for Diego and Darren to come back, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it'll take us quite a while.
Eventually, a black cloud is on the horizon. It's Darian's mood at the hand that the fates have dealt him. They land.
Did you get him?
No.
No, bugger.
Don't let me ever do anything like that again, Darren.
I feel like we've won the battle, but have we learned anything from this?
You take the metal rods from where the golems
Oh
were.
yeah, I specifically wrote down pick up the rods, and I keep forgetting to read it.
Yeah, you pick those up.
They said it had like runes on them.
Yep.
Anyone read this? Diego, do you know how to read this? Who could we ask?
Ranger?
Sulan might know. Or Apraxin.
It's written in Draconic actually, but whilst you recognise the alphabet, you so it uses the Draconic alphabet, but you don't. It's not.
Ah.
It's like nonsense words as far as you recognise.
Maybe Apraxin or Sulan might be the best people to ask about this then. Well, I think we'll ask them when we get back to.
And there's unequivocal evidence of the workings of the Church of Bane.
You cut out completely all of that.
You cut it all
There's
of
unequivocal evidence of the Church of Bane.
What, just the...
That the sentinel that's still is sat there.
Yeah. What now then, Diego?
The village is safe. How many local casualties? I presume there's quite a few of the local militia.
No, they managed to tuck themselves away. So there's been no casualties of civilians.
Good.
I guess that's one thing to be happy about.
I lost 15 good men and women.
Yeah, that's not good. But we all knew the risks.
Of course I did. And soldiers.
Their families will get paid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Paid well, Diego.
Is that in character?
Is the ranger about, or was it just Tef that came with the names?
Oh, the ranger's about as well.
Well, we can assume perhaps most of these were from that fortress. Perhaps we should go check that out then. Maybe that's got some more clues to where these escaped
Where they're
to.
hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's beneficial. We should at least scout out one.
The ranger knows the way. Perhaps
Yeah.
we should scout that before heading back.
Okay, so Darian, as you are kind of aiding with the clearing up of the corpses and such like, my friend Colleen says, "This is a fiend, this corpse, and when fiends die on the material plane, they go to reform back from whence they came. But this body remains. It is dead. It is permanently dead."
Do I recall who struck out at it?
I think it's the one that Ox and Resmir killed.
Sorry, you cut out again.
It's the one that Ox and Resmir killed.
That is very curious. Have they been bound to this plane? I'll ask Ox and Resmir the exact details after we've dealt with all this mess.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. You know, the day is spent tidying the whole place up. There's a feeling of jubilation, not recognised by Darian, who is still disappointed that he lost the priest. But the militia, the village people, great messages are sent to surrounding villagers to warn them that they're now safe, given that you distributed your troops in the last few weeks and billeted them throughout, and you are held as heroes, and Resmir the Dragonborn, all that kind of spilling blood for humans. There's a general feel that the humans of this area possibly wouldn't have spilled blood if it was the Dragonborn, and certainly they wouldn't have raced into the forest, that alien land, if the gnomes had been under attack. So there's a whole level of shit, I didn't realise we had this many friends, starting to kind of awaken within that community. You are given the largest of the houses, and the villagers bring meagre but adequate supplies as a celebration through to you.
So it feels like a bit of a hollow victory to Diego. I guess to Darian too.
No, Darian's got no time for anyone really right now, except like you guys and Colleen.
You ask about that thing, Darian?
Yeah, assuming that the battle's cleaned up, and I ask why that demon was still lying there after you two. I mean, I know you've got a weapon of Bahamut, which might have something to do with it.
Resmir's sword has some sort of properties, I noticed. I'll go and ask her.
Okay.
She's down by the beck, using the water just to clean herself.
So I'll go.
You catch a kind of sort of Voci talking to herself. You can't quite make out what she's saying, but it sounds a prayer of some kind, a bit reverential.
I'll head over. Resmir, a word if you will.
She looks slightly surprised, slightly taken back. Yeah, of course, the Marshal.
Them creatures we fought, have you
The
witnessed these?
fiends.
Yeah, have you witnessed these creatures before?
No, I've heard stories of them, as every child has. Every child that's wishing to stay awake, perhaps longer than they should do.
So you cut out again.
So every child that stays awake longer than perhaps they should do has heard tales of fiends in the night.
Darian pointed out this one stayed within this realm, though. Dead, rather than reforming. I did notice your sword has some kind of magical properties. Perhaps that is the cause. Unless it is mine's blessed by Baum, but I wouldn't have thought it'd hold a fiend in this realm. I mean, that sword, though, interesting. What was it about?
The sword has properties. It is of an ensorcelled nature, but I'm not aware of this ability. I cannot recall having fought these creatures before. Perhaps it has been revealed to me, a property, but I had good sages tell me the powers that the sword possessed, and that was not one that they spoke of.
Perhaps not then. Be useful though, maybe. Anyway, it doesn't matter as long as they remain dead.
You fought well today, Ox, she says.
You too.
But you led even better.
I appreciate that.
You're forging quite a community, and I'm glad that I'm part of it.
I'm glad you're part of it too, Resmir. I'm just disappointed we lost so many men today.
They died to further our race's goals. Their names will be the foundations upon which future Dragonborn homes will be built.
They died fighting other people's wars, as we always, Resmir.
This is not another person's war. The territory that we are defending is the territory that you are making the home of our race.
That's an excellent point.
There comes a point where silence is acceptance, and we are no longer being silent.
Well,
She
I have
kind
much
of
to
reaches
think
out.
on.
She reaches out and touches your hand.
I give her like a like a pat on the shoulder. Kind of as you're leaving, like you do soldiers.
Oh,
Ox is preoccupied at this moment with the death of his
Ox?
men.
what better way to get over the death of your men?
Sleep well tonight, Ox. Do not let the horrors of the day get between you and sleep.
Yeah, Ox kind of trudges off. Ox is definitely he doesn't take the death of Dragonborn lightly. I think it wears on him quite more than sometimes he lets on.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So you rise the next morning.
Oh, I was wanting to speak to Diego actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so not really joining in the festivities or singing at all.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not. It's not like Ewok chorus celebrations here. It's a slightly somber but a very celebratory mood.
We saved the Ewok bit for when we're burning Danolo.
After he's redeemed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try and pull Diego aside to get in a more private conversation. And
this will be after I've not only made a toast.
after you've done everything in the
Naming every Dragonborn died. I'm asking Ox to write me a list.
Make me a performance roll.
Uh-oh.
Good.
Use advantage.
Yeah, this could be disrespectful.
No, I'll use roll bullshit, please.
Do you speak Draconic?
performance check. That is a... What is that? 14... It's a 10.
10. You gamely try to pronounce the names in Draconic. You get a few wrong, but the attempt is obvious. And you can see, and Ox, you can certainly see that the Dragonborn are more appreciative of the attempt and the respect that's paid than anything else. So the fact that you kind of got some inflections wrong and the wrong emphasis on a vowel or what have you is completely kind of put to one side.
I know that feeling.
How would you say Dragonborn will be buried or cremated? Or burnt?
Eaten by the survivors. To take their strength into the
Eaten
race.
by gnomes.
I think they don't they get dropped into the fires of Mount Doom?
No. That's halflings.
Oh, okay. Halfling jewelry. Okay.
So this conversation with Darian.
Yeah. So I take Diego aside. I was like, so what is our next move then?
We scout for the other hideouts. There's only 2 to choose from. We'll find the bastard, and we'll see that he is put to rights.
So Darian nods and he turns away and goes, "This isn't good enough, Diego. This is just like Chult. We survived, but Asarat got away. All these evil people keep getting away from us." And he smite punches through a table.
Smite.
Yeah.
His fist glows.
Yeah.
Take an inspiration.
Cool.
Did that kill that mimic?
And
It's been there the
250.
entire time. No!
It's like it's been shivering, it's shitting itself. It feels Darian's stand, and it's like, thank fuck. It's like I chose this fucking village. I'm on my holidays.
It's like Schultz.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Then, I'm just like, all these evil people keep getting away just to be able to do these things all over again. All my men survived. All the civilians survived, not a casualty. Dragonborn. It's unfortunate, but
Are you saying
But
this
there
out
are lesser-
loud?
Are you saying there are lesser people? Is that what you're trying to
No.
say?
You know there are forces in this world, Darian, that cast shadows on souls and hearts of lands. But if we turn tail and give in, then that shadow will grow. Don't despair, my friend.
I'm not giving in. I just want to pursue.
Then we're in agreement.
We can never seem to corner them, though.
Commission a faster carpet.
So Darian he'll like softly like bang his fist on the door frame as he just walks out.
Okay. So the morning comes. It's a quiet morning, but the sun is soft and it does feel now like spring. You've been a little bit preoccupied in the last few weeks, but now there may be some lingering doubts, but those doubts are put into a little bit of perspective as you see the children of the village rise and think not much more, and the adults are able to kind of shepherd them out. There will be scars there, but they're alive instead of festering in the darkness to become undead creatures to feast upon the living. So it's a pace forward. You're getting ready to head into the forest for the investigation of the bandits' previous base.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
And you see the dust trail of a courier comes down, dismounts. One of the children of the village take his horse. He walks with purpose directly to you, Diego, my Lord Count. He hands you a letter which bears the seal of certain Danolo Darkblade, his personal seal, not the seal of the Exchequer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll read it there and then.
My nephew, it is with the heaviest of hearts I inform you your mother has died.
Oh no!
You cut out.
My nephew, it is with the heaviest of hearts that I inform you your mother has died. I am making arrangements to make passage to Waterdeep. Please come with me. Whatever is between us must be paused whilst we pay respects for such a honourable lady. Yours in blood, Danolo.
Shit.
Oh no! Is it under shady circumstances? He doesn't say anything more, does he?
P.S. If Darian asks any fucking questions, he doesn't say any more now.
There's no reason why it's under shady circumstance.
Yeah, I don't know.
She was carrying a parasol and it landed on her head.
Oh no!
Husband, Tef says. That's not good news, is it? Marshal, lead the expedition into the forest. And she takes you, Diego, by the shoulder, moves you back and sits you down. She kneels before you and she says, tell me. No, Marshal.
Yeah.
Into the forest. She closes the door. You're in the half shade of a village in your county that you just fought to protect. But it seems a little bit, I don't know. JV.
Hollow. Okay, I look up at Tef with just almost a blank look in my face, but there's a tear, like you can see the water well up. I just pass the message along and say, she's dead.
Then to Waterdeep we go. It passes in a blur as Tef stands you, leads you out, arranges horses, commands again, martial ox.
Mm-hmm.
The Count has received news that takes him back to Saradouche and possibly to Waterdeep. I'm sure that the Chancellery will communicate further, but you're commanded by the Count to go to the forest to investigate the Brigands' last holdfast and return back to Saradouche with what you know.
We'll sort out the mess here. Give Diego our regards, and I'll gather the men to the scouting party to go out into the forest.
Tef gives it a couple of moments, then returns back. It will be hard, my love, but you need to be a count for these people, even when inside you're just a person falling apart. Show the leadership and let us go.
She's right.
She knows she is. She
smiles
at that.
Of course she does. Dust myself off, steady myself, I stand.
And I'm going to close the session there.
Hey.
At 11:30.
Martin's like, I'm exhausted.
This is the newest low. Like, I was pretty upset when Asarat got away, but I think this feels even worse.
Asarat?
It was Asarak in a helmet, actually. It was Asarak again. It's just toying with you.
Yeah, he gets his clothes from Sparks and Sparks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. It's good to see that you're low because the priest got away, not because your great friend's mum's died. But anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that was what pushed over the edge. Like, that was
unexpected.
About the whole battle, and then I was just like, fucking hell.
If there was a way I could work the courier to come in halfway through the battle, I was trying to think, is there a way? But I decided not. And I like how Darian's like, Danolo's dinner in.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking to winter.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Who knows? It's when you get back and Lord Darkblade's got a new mistress. Anyway,
I'm gambling on De Winter taking the assassinate action. That's what my money's on.
No, the downtime action, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 11:30. So for the viewers that have been with us on Twitch, we're wrapping up now. So thank you very much for watching. That was a fun session for me. I don't know about you guys.
I enjoyed
think it was
that.
fun.
I'm not
I
sure
think it was
about
fun. And I'm very interested in any views on my Dungeon Master call. Should I have allowed them to follow the priest or not? I'm pretty satisfied that I made the right decision, actually, because I think that there's certain things that these guys don't know that I do know, but there we have it.
I'd have done the same.
Yeah. And also there's got to be a consequence to actions. There has. You can't have all the bites of a cherry.
I mean, you can. You just eat the whole cherry.
No, that's not how cherries work. That's not how cherries work. It might be how they.
In your mouth.
It might be how they work in that bourgeois world that you exist in. But
the stem of the cherry as well.
It's perfectly edible as long as you're willing to try hard enough.
So on that, it's when you got the consequence of the stone that the real fun starts. Is to try and shit that out. So on that cliffhanger, we are 3 weeks until the next game.
Is it?
It is because we're a week ahead of our normal schedule. So it will be the.
So there's no games next week.
That's right. There are no games.
Not for you.
So it would have been the 18th, which means that we skipped the 25th, which means it would be the 1st.
Oh man, I'm gonna need that session Tuesday where we actually win stuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. You won a battle. You defeated these creatures.
This is a clear draw because he's going to be able to do it again.
Well, you don't know because those golems, they don't come out of thin air.
Oh, the ghouls. The ghouls are created by the villagers.
Yeah.
And we saved the villagers.
Well, they're created by killing the villagers. The villagers don't. They're just like a raw product. They're like the oats in the muesli. So it's the 1st of Feb. We all good for the 1st of Feb?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I can't.
Oh, that's what I like. It's the enthusiasm. By that time, you'll have got over the feelings of depression.
There's a point where Darian and
The
Martin
only thing-
merge,
the
and they're
only-
completely together.
The only thing that can redeem how I feel right now is if we finally do succeed on all the things. That'll be the only thing that makes...
On all the things.
On all the things. Yeah, on all the things.
Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah. So you can get more content on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on at Mostly Off Topic on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Mostly Off Topic. Got a website, mostly-offtopic.com. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Anything to say, Josh?
Thank you for joining.
Anything to say, Ben?
I think you just plunged a dagger through my heart. A black obsidian one.
Anything to say, happy boy in the north?
Yeah, much like Darian, Martin has nothing to say to anyone. Yeah.
I want to see when you get back from the office. Can you send us a video of you smite punching a table in the house?
Do you know, I do have a glass table, but I don't think I'll come out that well from that either. So I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Glass is resistant to smite.
And our next Waterdeep game is Tuesday the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where I'm certain you're going to finish off the Blue Alley. Please finish off the Blue Alley.
This is the campaign. This is the campaign now.
Yeah, that's it. Blue Alley. It's supposed to be Dragon Heist, but yeah, we took a detour.
And
for 4
Real Ben is
episodes.
like, we're gonna explore every room. I'm like, are we gonna set up every trap as well?
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers all.